All right, official welcome everyone to our All Markets Easter egg hunt. Here it is, Thursday, March 28th, 2024, the last trading day of Q1 2024. Whew, I feel like I got whiplash from how fast that all went by. But I am having this special session with you for a few reasons, which I'll share as we move through. But I love getting right to the charts in the market. So I'm going to have a combination here of kind of sharing with you on the charts, taking your questions, and also interacting with you, those of you here live in the chat. And for those who stick around, we're going to have a little prize drawing towards the end. Plus, depending on how you all flow, maybe I'll do a little extra training session. So it won't just be a Q&A in an open group. It might actually be some specific training that could help you boost your trading. So if you think you'd like that, for me to start that around 45, 50 minutes in, then don't worry, sit back. I'll check on you and we will dive in. Okay? So one more round for everyone who is here live. Can you please type the letter Y in the chat just so I make sure the tech is working? We are recording and we will dive in. Okay, amazing. So, important reminder that trading and investing can be extremely risky business. Therefore, it's your responsibility to evaluate any information, opinion, advice, or other content contained in this session. That is me, Hima, that just said that out loud. It is not AI. It is not a recording. I say it with that flow and that memorization because this is truly, truly important, not just to protect me, but to protect you, okay? So for any of you who are new here with me, who have never been in a live setting with me before, or maybe only one other time, can you type the letter or the number 1 in the chat? Not the letter, the number 1 in the chat. If you've never really been with me live before, I want to give you a warm welcome. All right, amazing. Jeffrey, Paul, Craig, Bobby, Brian, fantastic. So those of you who've been with me just once now, and those of you who've been with me a handful of times, type V for my veterans. You have been with the tribe a handful of times and been in these sessions and trainings and coaching and more. All right, awesome to see all my veterans, fantastic. For all of you, whether you're newer or a veteran, it's very important to understand that I have been studying the markets, analyzing them, trading them on and off for many, many years. I have developed some knacks and abilities that you probably never will. I'm being very honest. However, you can come close with practice, with repetitions, with education, with coaching, with mentorship. So it's extremely important that everything I say here today, you don't just take it as the law of the land. I might make you forecast specific markets where I'm literally strongly suggesting it will trade to a certain price in a certain time. I may be very imposing on what I think the market's going to do. None of it is fact until the trades happen, okay? So one big round of D for disclosure. Type D for disclosure in the chat if you understand everything I just warned you about. It's the truth. About 98 to 95% of traders will not achieve consistent profits. It's just the way it goes. But that doesn't mean that you being here can't increase your odds of success, okay? Amazing. Fantastic. So let's dive in. So as I said, I'll share one more time this sort of quick review of how to best get help here, because the first part of our session is just gonna be very open Q&A. I am going to kind of keep it to some themes I'm seeing in the market. And if you have a specific question, I would like you to ask it in this framework, all right? So the instructions are up at the top and the examples are at the bottom. So if you have a question, which I'll tell you when like bars open for Q&A, type one ticker only. Don't give me a laundry list. Okay, I want to be fair. I want to help everyone equally. So you would just type one ticker. For example, let's say you type Apple, okay? And then you would give me your initial analysis on that ticker. It can be part of your trifecta of learning, whether you've been with me for price action, that could be patterns, candlesticks, time, momentum, or anything else. But if you give me that information, then I can truly help you. If all you do is type a ticker in, I don't really know what your question is, okay? So I'm going to prioritize helping those of you who actually ask your questions in the thorough way. It helps me help you. And if you have a specific question about the ticker, say you have a trade on, say you already have a predetermined target or stop and you want some advice on it, let me know. So you can write a query that's a couple sentences long. That's totally fine. Just make sure you're getting in one shot and then you hit enter. Does everyone understand the rules to make the most of this session? Please type a Y in the chat. I do this not for me. I do this for you so that you can get the most out of it. And I'm sure there's some of you here who arrived and you're like, well, I just wanted to kind of be in on the coaching. I don't have specific questions today. No worries. Once you see me address other people's questions, you'll see how I can turn it into a lesson for everyone. Okay, so go ahead and now it's open bar, okay? Go ahead and type your questions in the chat. I'm going to call out your names as I grab them. So you have to realize there's many of you in here, so I may need to kind of scroll back or the like, but I'm going to grab these and I'm going to let you know when I call your name out. So Julie T, I see your question about the SPY. Guy Lamp, Guy, yes, Guy L, I see your question about CCOI. I guess that's the ticker. Sanjeev, I see your question about PANW. Right, so I'm going to kind of just take the first questions that come in now, put them in my list, and then I'll move to my charts and go through them. So if anybody has any, now's a great time to drop those in. And you can continue to do so. You'll hear me say your name and that I got your question. If you don't hear me say your name, it means I didn't see your question yet. And just hang on before you type it up again, all right? Okay, John, I see your question about Morgan Stanley. Thank you. All right, so as they're coming in, I'll pause and take a look, but let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to come back on big screen for a moment and switch up because I have lots of screens open. Because I got to tell you guys, today was the first day in about 6 weeks that I spent hours on the charts. That to me is like almost as good as a beach vacation, as crazy as that sounds. I turned my phone off. I told the team, you're not talking to me. I'm going deep in. And I went through all the top markets. I went deep on the S&P markets, and I just kind of got my bearings back because I have purposely been taking a little bit of a break, and now I'm sliding back in, all right? So that's part of why I wanted to meet with you today. It's good for you, and it's good for me to kind of get my gears going. So what I'm going to do is share my screen now, and you're going to see my TradeStation screen that has a panel that says Egg Hunt. That's us here today. And it's going to be any ticker we want. So I just put some here as examples, and I've got my radar screen and TradeStation. That's the ticker list. I've got it synced up so that the charts will change to match the ticker. Okay. And we've got a couple of questions about SPY. So Vishnu, I see your question about SPY. I'll sort of pair that with Julie's. Frank, I see your question about FN. And Jennifer, I see your question about NVIDIA. Okay. So I'm going to start with those. Again, if you haven't typed one yet, just hold on right now because it'll be hard for me to look at the chat and come back to the screen. I'll let you know once I'm ready to take another round of drinks at the bar, if you will. Okay, another round of ticket requests. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be looking at you here and I'm going to analyze. Now, over on the side of the charts here, I have another set of charts that are my personal private charts that I only share with my top students in coaching and other times. They have a lot of detailed annotations on them. I will pull what I need to from there and share them here, okay? Because I've done all my homework. Like I'm very clear on what I think the SPY is going to do because I spent a good 40 minutes on it today, but I'm going to just pull what you guys need. How does that sound? Everybody sound good? Type a Y in the chat. I'm going to give you what you need here so that all of you at all levels can understand, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And I might be looking over at my charts on my other screen. Okay, so in order to do this, let me clean up my information here a bit. Let me go ahead and bring over my other SPY charts onto the screen that you can't see by design, and just remind myself of the analysis I did earlier and start digging into what I see going on with the SPY. Okay. Oh, yes, I remember now. Okay, so here it is. So if you didn't see it earlier in the chat, or anybody who is watching this, if we're capturing it as a recording, Julie asked about the SPY, so did Vishnu. So Julie said, the daily SPY grinds higher. So that's this guy right here. Okay. And RSI is making lower highs. What do you see big picture? Vishnu says SPY is in a toppy area. What indicator will tell us that? Okay, guys. First, let me do a quick look at this on a larger time frame, on a monthly chart. The monthly chart is just rocking and rolling. No matter what the Fed says, no matter what the inflation data says, the market seems to be pretty confident that we're going to get rate cuts soon, and that those are going to be favorable to economic growth, and that we're going to stall any sort of recession or worse and increase the chances of a soft landing. Like, this is what this chart tells us, okay? And whether you are a swing trader or a day trader or a scalper looking at just, minutes on the chart, we just want to ride the wave, guys. Like, just be a surfer, okay? Hang tan, whatever those guys say, ride the freaking wave. Stop trying to fight it. I don't care when this market tops. I just want to ride the waves along the way. So Vishnu, lovingly, I'm going to tell you, you're kind of asking the wrong question here. It's not about when the SPY is going to top. It's about if this wave is so strong to the upside, it's when can you get in next? So of course, we need to have some idea of when there might be a pullback in order to jump in, right, with lower risk. So on the monthly chart here, I have some long-term projections that'll be easier for me to show you on a shorter time frame, but I'm just going to map out those levels to you, okay? But based on the action since October of 2022, there's a few key time points. October 2022, March of 2023, October of 2023, based on those levels, as well as the July high, I've created some long-term Gann projections, and I'll show you the resulting calculations in a moment. What I first want to do is change this down to a weekly time frame and show you some observations there. Check out the weekly. So Julie, you had commented, and Julie's one of our tribe members who knows her RSI power zones really well. Okay, that's this RSI down here. Julie, you commented that on the daily, it's chopping around, right? But when you look at it on the weekly, how does the RSI power zones look to you? I would say it looks pretty healthy. It's just inching and climbing towards the bull resistance power zone. So everybody here who has used the RSI power zones, type out yes for me in the chat or a Y for me in the chat. If you use the RSI power zones, you have installed the indicator, you've gone through the 4 zones RSI system. Okay, awesome. So even if you're not fully in flow with it yet, all you need to know is that there's this version of the RSI that takes the best parts of it and then makes it usable in a trending environment. So yeah, Julie says, whoa, different perspective, right? Yeah, the weekly completely does that. So Julie, if we haven't already, we could also look at your trading plan to add in perhaps looking at the weekly chart each morning before you get to your short-term trading. And guys, just so you know, I'm speaking to Julie very specifically because I worked with her on a custom trading plan. So that's why I can give that advice, okay? I can't give that advice to every single person here. So let's move along though from the weekly to the daily. So now on this daily chart, I'm going to give you guys some key annotations that it took me about 45 minutes to come up with today. Who would like my current up-to-date SPY analysis? Type a Y in the chat. I'm literally going to tell you exactly how to draw it. Okay. So I'm going to recreate it here from my in-depth screen, okay? Let's all start with the low. So if anybody doesn't know what this SPY is, let me do something here for you. Let me add some more information. So I'm going to add the description data. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Description. It usually has like more details. I don't know why it's not saying more. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I wanted to give you in bigger font what the SPY is. It is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, which most of you should know that the S&P 500 consists of about 500 of the biggest US companies, which is basically the 500 biggest companies in the world. So this is essentially tracking the economic health of the US economy. And once we started to get into early in January, you can see it's up and to the right, like Julie pointed out, but starting to chop around. The thing is, it still stayed up and to the right, and I have identified a channel that it's currently respecting. So this channel begins on the January 31st low, which is back here, okay? So everybody mark your calendars or your charts or take notes on this. January 31st low, and I connect that right to, on the SPY, okay, the February 21st low. That's because all of this right here was a bit of consolidation, and then the move resumed higher. Sarah's asking, is it fair to assume that the SPY analysis translates directly to the ES futures? Great question, Sam, excuse me, not Sarah. Sam, yes, you can take these dates and translate them, but I'm happy to also show you this on the ES because there's some slight variations, okay? All right, so we got this channel lower line down, January 31st, February 21st. Everybody with me? Type a Y. I'm going real slow on this one because I know a lot of you trade it, and this is like the anchor for all the ships. Okay, now I'm going to replicate this line, and we're going to take that cloned line. It has the same angle. That's the important part. I'm going to change it to a dashed. To me, with my annotations, a dashed line means it wasn't an original. It's like a copy of a painting. So it's not as good as the original, but it's a replica. And I'm going to anchor it to this high of February 12th, this little doji here. Now, I'm not going to go in and do that like all specifically. I'm just ballparking it. But now you can see the channel that's unfolding. And guys, check this out. While this channel could not technically exist until February 22nd, do you see all the times that it has been useful in capturing the near-term tops? Please type a Y if you see that. Julie, do you see that? Whoever else asked about the SPY, do you see that? Vishnu, yes? Okay. Is this channel going to last forever? Of course not. But it's been a useful guide, and it's not something I want to get rid of unless it's showing me it's not working anymore. What I'll define as not working anymore is if we start really chopping around it, like we're not respecting it, or if we clearly break one direction or the other, then it can't be a channel that we're in anymore, okay? Great. Okay, now I'm going to add in some forecasts. Now, because this is a session where there's so many different levels of traders here, and you don't all know the techniques of forecasting, I'm going to just give you the resulting forecast. And my loss forecasting students, you know how to work them back. Cool? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the resulting forecast and just explain how it's like a magnet on the price action, okay? So the first forecast I have is into April 9th. So I'm just going to put a big purple vertical line out there. And I'm just double checking my levels here. And it is for price to trade up to, I'm just double checking. Yep, okay. I'm going to make this line purple, and I'm going to put the price on it. 535.62. Okay. So guys, I don't have a crystal ball. This is not guaranteed to happen. Don't trade it blindly. But this is the intersection of time and price that the SPY is up and to the right. So what I will do is, for those of you who have my loss forecasting course, I will find a way in the Experience 5 portal, probably in the forum, okay, to drop a picture of the forecast that results in this. How does that sound? But for everyone else here, I'm like giving you the resulting forecast so you can at least pay attention to it. Making sense, guys? Are we good? Okay. Like I said, I am fully aware that there are some of you who have joined my world here like days ago, and some of you have been here for years. So I'm trying to give you the best pieces. Okay, great. So I'll make a note. Anna, please also remind me to put this SPY chart with the forecasts in the loss forecasting portal. Okay. Now, along the way, there are other long-term resistance levels that might get in the way, and these are what I'm going to give you. Okay, I've calculated them from like much more Gann pattern-oriented type analysis, but I'm going to just show you what they are with blue vertical lines. Okay, so here they go. The first resistance that's up ahead that's somewhat important is 527.40. These are from long-term monthly and weekly cycles. And again, when I put these in the appropriate related forum, I will describe the levels, okay? The next one after that is 534.46. And then we get into the 537.24 that I said. or sorry, 535.62. And then there's another longer term one, 537.24. So this is the cluster that I'm basically watching as the most important area of resistance over the next 10 days or so. And I will put this information in these details in the loss forecasting portal. Okay, I'm going to kind of have a little bit of something for everyone today, but I also want to keep us focused on just overall price action and movement. All right. Would you guys like to see the comparable ES chart and therefore see my 60-minute ES chart, E-mini S&P 500 futures? If that interests you, type a Y. Since we're on the SP topic, that's where I would want to go. Okay. And then we can switch gears to other markets, okay? All right. So on the E-mini, I've got it all loaded up here. And like I said, to keep us all clear and focused on what's the most kind of basic way for me to address this for you all, I'm going to first recreate the forecast real quick. Okay, so what I'm doing now is putting these in ES futures terms. So the numbers would be a little different, but it's very similar price action. So that forecast that I was talking about for April 9th on the ES is going to be a slightly different value, which I'll reveal here in just a moment. I'm just getting the chart ready. Okay. And the levels for longer term objectives for support and resistance, I'll show you as well. So here we go. In 3, 2, trying to make some excitement here, and 1. Okay. So take a look. This is now the E-mini S&P 500 futures chart. Okay. I'm going to just add that description so everyone can be clear. Right. I don't know why it adds other data that I don't need. Okay. Great. E-mini S&P 500 futures. Who do we have here who trades the E-mini S&P? Type an E in the chat. I'm going to make you jump around the keyboard a little. Okay. This is very similar to what we just saw in the SPY. And now I'm adding in another layer of information that's part of what I want to focus on as I continue to answer your questions. And it's the directional price moves. Directional price moves, I call drives, like driving your car. And again, if you guys are interested in it, I'll give you a little bit of extra training in the next 15, 20 minutes or so after I answer some more of your questions about price drives and price action and how it moves. But what these orange line segments represent are the main directional moves. So let me show you what I mean. Let me overlap it with like a purple highlighter. So from this low back here, which was on January 5th, okay, there was a consolidation in this market, and you can see right here that it pushed a little higher, pulled back, pushed a little higher, pulled back, and then pushed higher one more time. That push higher here coincided with the RSI power zones showing a bearish divergence, okay? And all of this move right here was actually a directional move in itself. So again, if this is not something you're familiar with, stick around and I'll have more of a lesson on it, a formal lesson. But basically, these are the drives in price up and to the right. So the first major drive so far here was from this January 5th low, and then we had one into this high from, looks like February 12th, okay? Now, from there, the market went sideways very briefly, but even that sideways move resulted in directional moves higher. So again, using the Zoom annotations to kind of emphasize it, we had this move higher, this move higher. I'm tracing them out. You should be able to see my little lines, this move and this move. Then the market went sideways again. So that tells me that this was yet another drive or push higher. So what it seems to me is that we are likely unfolding a third bigger drive higher off of the January 5th low. And I'll share more about this in my lesson, but basically the market moves in 3 to 4 drives. So that's Vishnu, coming back to your question of how do you know when it's going to make a more significant top? It's how extended it gets. Markets don't just move endlessly up to the right or down, right, to the right. They do so in drives, or what Gann called the word sections. So all of this action here now leads us in a situation where I don't know when the end is because it's still unfolding, but some major drive seems to be unfolding here. And like I said, my forecast is for that to at least pause significantly at 5430.75 on April 9th. The forecast is a magnet. I'm expecting it to specifically hit there. But if I have the loss forecasting techniques, then I know how to navigate if it doesn't. All of this information about drives, like all these orange segments, I go into that deep in McGann Trading Patterns course. All right, so I just wanted to give a little taste because I know some of you are newer here. What questions do you have here before we move on to the individual market selections? I see some coming in. So Jared says, what's the difference between trading the SPY and the E-mini? Well, they're two different types of instruments. The SPY is an ETF, so it's an exchange traded fund. It acts like a stock, like you buy shares of it. Therefore, it also has different parameters for what account size you need, different limitations and things for options. The E-mini is S&P 500 futures. So futures trade from a futures contract account. You can't trade futures from a stocks account. And that's where the account sizes and all those parameters come in. So really, Jared, they're very similar, but it really depends on what you have to trade and more. So maybe I'll come back and make a video or something on that, okay? Can you plot the same graph for QQQ? We can look at Qs, sure. So I'll put that in the lineup. And how did I get the price on the SPY, Vincent? I said I'll reveal that in the loss forecasting portal, okay? I'm very aware that right now I'm in an environment where some of you are like so brand new that you barely understand any of the lines on my chart. Totally get it. Don't worry about it. Just being exposed and having some osmosis will help. And then there's some of you who are deep into this stuff. So I'm trying to give you the usable bits. And then those of you who have the education, I can give you more information. Okay. So yeah, I'm expecting we are in a third drive, Ben. That's what I'm saying. I think we're in a third drive that's unfolding. I don't know. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon, but that's my guess. You have to monitor the price action day to day to see. Okay. So let me come back to the list of questions you guys had. But before I do, just want to make sure, any further questions specific to the S&P 500 market? I spend the most time on that because that's my baby. This market's my baby. I started learning about this guy just a few years after this market opened in, what was that, September of 1997, okay? So I graduated high school. And many of you know I learned about trading from my late father, and that was when I started as a teenager, but I didn't really dig in until after college. So I started being in this market like so early that I'm very like accustomed to it. But there are many others that you can trade that have similar movements like the SPY. All right. I'm taking the lack of further questions about the SPY to say we're good. And now what I'm going to do is go spend a little more time in individual stocks and requests that came in. Okay, so I'll add to the queue, and we may have to come back after I take a little training break as well, Sam. But I see your question about the RTY, and I see Paolo's question about the Qs, okay? So now for the next 15 or 20 minutes, I'm going to continue to do these ticker requests. I'll check in, see if you guys are ready for like a more formal training break, and then I can always do some more after that, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and stop sharing for one moment. You know what? I'm going to do a little check-in on all of you. We're halfway in. Listen carefully to the question before you answer. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how useful are you finding this session for you right now? I won't be offended if the number is low. 10 is high. 10 is like, yes, I'm totally getting stuff out of this. Glad I'm here. 1 is, this sounds like Greek to me, and I need to go back to the drawing board. All answers are fair game. Okay. Because some of you have invited in simply because you recently joined our tribe, our email list. You may not even have like dug into the ebooks and things that I have for you. But if you have questions about those, I'm going to stick around and answer them. Again, after we take perhaps probably like a 40, 20, 30, 40-minute break for the training bit, if we decide to get to it. Okay, good. I'm seeing a mix of numbers here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 5, 1. Okay. Oh, thanks, Raymond. So always a 10 for me. Okay, cool. Well, I'll keep it going and I'll try to keep you guys from getting, overwhelmed. Okay. Also, I'll put the chart of the ES forecast in loss forecasting, and I'll put the explainer of these GAN drives in the GAN trading patterns, not in the forum. The forum's being built, but I'll put it in the course, and then it will be in the forum when it's ready. Okay, great. Let's keep going here. So let me come back to my little UG Hunt panel and share the screen again, and I'm going to resume answering your questions. All right. First, it's time for a little eyeball break. So what this is, guys, is where I just take a quick 30 seconds or so to not look at the screen. You can join with me if you like. I'll narrate through. So I'm going to go off camera for a moment, and I'm here, okay? I don't know about you, but being a trader and being somebody who looks at charts a lot, your eyes get tired, right? So what I do is I normally have a timer that goes off about every 25 or 30 minutes. And during that time, I stand up, I stretch. So you might hear a tone change because I'm standing up. And I like to look out the window or down the hall so that I can stretch my eyeballs. So I'm going to do that now for about 15, 20 seconds, and then I'll be back. Just looking out the window, getting a little stretch to the eyeballs. Okay, I'm back. And for a little bit, I'm going to put my screen glare glasses on as well. That always helps me. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to go a little faster, but I'm still going to try to give you guys information that you can use, okay? So Guy asked about CCOI and asked if it's a good entry point. All right. Any ticker you ask me about that I'm not super familiar with, I'm going to kind of get my bearings first. So I go to perhaps a monthly chart if that's relevant. I have no idea what this is or what the pricing is or where the chart is. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this looks like a stock, a NASDAQ stock, big picture, sort of consolidating long-term between 50 and $100, but most recently this month been pulling back. Okay. That's all I need from the daily, monthly chart. I'm just getting familiar with your stock, Guy. Okay. Weekly chart. That pullback on the monthly looks like it wants to be over. We're starting to break above last week's high, but the question is it going to close there? Okay. That's the big question. And then from there, what I like seeing is that we have returned to the support of a previous doji level. So what you're seeing me do here, for anyone who's newer, is I'm hacking an existing Fibonacci tool. So any Fibonacci retracement tool on any platform, you can adjust the levels that it uses. And I most commonly use 50% and 0 and 100, the boundaries. So all I do is I turn off the other fib numbers. I've actually reprogrammed them to GAN numbers, eighths. So you take 0 to 100 divided by 8. Excuse me. And I'm most concerned with being able to measure the 50% retracement of various parts of the chart. So by using the tool that way and hacking the fib, I now have 150 and 0, and I can just quickly find the middle of anything. Okay, so type a Y in the chat if you're new here and that sounds like a useful tip for you. If you're trying to find the most important support, that's often 50%. So if you hack the fib tool, you can just quickly get it. Now you might be wondering, well, what if I want to draw all the fib numbers again or all the GAN numbers? Well, then you have to open it up and you just click them back on, you see? I do something where I kind of store some default versions of these on other panels. That's a little bit more advanced, but that way I'm able to quickly get them without having to click everything on and off. Okay, so this support that's here, guy, this is good. There's looking like a possibility for a long entry on this. All right, but let's go to a daily chart to make a final decision. On the daily chart, I want you to notice that if we take that fib hack and now we apply it to that daily swing low, well, technically it's a price low. And if I'm saying terminology like swing low and price low and bar low, and you don't know what I'm talking about, stick around. I will teach you, okay? But right now, oh my God, this is beautiful. My RSI Power Zone students, do you see this price probe holding from March 20th? Type a Y in the chat. It can be that fantastic and that picturesque. So I hope you're drawing your price probes and your price spikes if you have the 4 zones RSI system, okay? So Guy, I think that there's a good chance for a trade here. I would look for a lower risk opportunity to go long. I wouldn't just go long where we are here. And that would start with returning to 6415. That's the old top from March 21st. That harkens back to some of my favorite GAN trading patterns. Say, so 6415 would be one potential area that you could go long if it trades down there. And if you want to be a little more conservative, then you can go to this right here, 6339, because that's the high of the bar that has created the current move higher. So it's about aggressive, safer, safest. If I were to go long this stock now and do it on a pullback, not just buying outright, the best entry possibility is at 6415, but that also leaves the most room for risk because my stop would be down below the March 20th low. The next best entry, though decreased chance of it getting filled, is here at 6339, but it reduces the risk. And then the safest entry, so I'll make these different colors. I'll make this one brighter green. I'll make this one the darker green, and then I'll make the last one, I don't know, some other color. Orange. Let's do something totally different, okay? The safest entry would be in a return to the most recent price low that also made a price probe. So that's at 6301. Does everyone see how I just turned Gary's question into a point for everybody? He asked about CCOI stock. I don't even know what it is, but it demonstrated RSI Power Zones concepts, and I'm showing you the difference between the most aggressive, the safer, and the safest entry level. Yes, we're good? Okay, so I'll keep it moving. Guy, does that help you? I agree with you. There's an opportunity to go on, and I would use one of these, and I would monitor all the lower highs along the way as your upside targets. So if you go back in time from here, and this harkens back to those drives that I was talking about, which we're going to dig into in a moment, on the way down from this March 1st high were 3 to 4 distinct drives. So the highs of each of those are your targets. Those are the resistance levels that might stop the run. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm going to keep it moving. So guys, those of you who are newer, this is sort of how I answer questions. I answer the question that was asked, but I want to do my best to turn it into useful information for everyone. So moving on to Sanjeev, you had a little bit more of a complex sort of options question, but holding call option, I'm going to just type it in the chat, okay? So you can see. So this is the question. And I'm going to look at the chart with it. Holding call option, 310 strike, 419 is your expiration date, and it's in a 60% loss. Okay. Been sideways so far after the earnings and not sure if it's going to break out in the next 2 weeks. Should I book my loss and move forward? Well, I can't speak, Sanjeev, to booking your loss or not. That goes back to your personal trading rules, your max risk per trade, all of that. I can just do some analysis here and see if it can help you, okay? So I'm going to start on a monthly again. I always do this just to get some perspective. So the monthly chart here has been up and to the right, almost parabolic. Last month was a big fat outside bar range, meaning a higher high and a lower low. And the market's been weakening, but it hasn't taken out last month's low. So really, it's just some sort of correction. And this is not surprising, as many tech stocks have been doing something like this for the past couple of weeks. Looking at the weekly version of the chart, there you go. You can see all that consolidation that's just sitting in the range from the week ending February 23rd. So not a lot happening. On the daily chart, do we see any opportunities? Well, before I do that on the weekly, ooh, I like this. Okay, so what I had said was the theme of today: price action, directional movement, drives, right? When you start piling those on and kind of building the snowman with those basic elements, there come GAN patterns to market movement that make some really reliable entries and exits. They don't happen like left and right every day, but when they do happen, they're very powerful. So, Sanjeev, if I were you, I would continue to monitor this old high from 258.88, okay? Because that was the high, well, actually, sorry, 260, okay, 265.90. Sorry, hold on. I'm changing my mind about it because I'm looking at how these actions unfolded, and this, okay, this is why I'm changing my mind. Ready? So let me kind of calculate the drives and show you what I mean. So I'm just going to get my little orange segment line annotation. And I want you to follow along. So from this low back at the start of the year to this high, that was one clear directional move, and then we had a pullback. Does everybody see that? Type away in the chat. There's basics of drives 101, okay? Then we had another directional move and a pullback, okay? So at the time that this was happening, let's say it was like real time like this, just make the bars big and fat so it's easy to see. This is not rocket science. This is pretty straightforward. But then it starts getting messy. Oh, it starts getting sideways. Oh, what's the drives? Oh, okay. This is why my eye was on the 258.88, because for this trend to resume higher, it has to break above 258.88. It's not a buy entry. I hate breakout trading personally because it's too high risk, but it at least tells me what needs to be reclaimed for bulls to be back in the boss chair, right? Here, bulls attempted to be the boss again. It just took them a little while, and then they surged higher. That's why 258.88 was such an important level. The thing is, when it comes to GAN's trading patterns and like my modern take on them, things like old tops and old bottoms can actually become potential new return points. The specifics to the patterns and everything else are in the system, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I just want to show you, Sanjeev, do you see how this important top from last July ended up being extremely useful support in February? This is what I would use to manage your trade if you're still there, okay? Again, I don't know your risk reward, I don't know your account size, but just speaking very generally, if you have a call option on that means you're at a bullish take and you're sitting in a loss now, if this market breaks below 258.88, I would get out of the way. So if it's just the price of the option and selling it for less than, the full value of what the loss would have been to salvage something, that's the kind of approach I might take. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep going here. I'll do a couple more and then I'll check in on you guys, okay? We always like block an hour for when I do coaching, but most of the time, if I don't have a hard stop, I love to keep coaching you guys and making sure you're getting what you need, okay? So I had a snack today. I'm hydrated, so I'm good. All right. Now, let me continue here with one more, and then I'll check in on how everyone's doing. Okay, John, it's your turn. Morgan Stanley. So let's come back here, and I'm going to just type it here so I can keep track of what I did. And let's go to Morgan Stanley. So I'm going to change to a monthly time frame out of the gate so I can get my sense of this stock before getting muddled by the daily. All right. So on Morgan Stanley, it's been just consolidating big picture for years, but most recently recovering higher off the October 31st low. Okay. When I look at a chart, there's certain amounts of time that I look back depending on the time frame of the chart. And I'm going to share those in a bit. But that's a question we get asked a lot. Like if I'm looking at a daily chart, how much should I look at? If I'm looking at a weekly, monthly. So if you stick around, I'll get into that in a moment. But I just want to kind of demonstrate it here first. So Morgan Stanley looking healthy, looking good. And John's situation is he entered along on Thursday and he's looking to hold to next week. Okay, so far, so good. So if you entered last Thursday, then you entered last week and you're still looking to hold, I think that's you got some room to it. The thing is, on the weekly chart, you're starting to come into some resistance. All my RSI students, you see this price spike waiting up ahead? Okay. It's not necessarily going to exert the, major force on this, but it is out there. So type a Y if you guys see the price spike, my 4 zones RSI students. I'm like calling out to different students to different courses because some of you have a lot of my education and some of you have bits and pieces. The way I teach, I like to think of it as like a chocolate layer cake. I love cake. I love chocolate cake. And one slice of cake and one layer of frosting is great. I'll enjoy that all day. Probably not as much these days. I'm not getting any younger, but you know what I mean. But let's say that first layer is like momentum, RSI power zones indicator. Then another layer can be forecasting, those things I talked about with price and time intersecting. Another layer, and the order is not important. Just come to what resonates with you when you learn. But another layer can be patterns and price action, like I'm focusing on today. So that's what I'm doing here is I'm layering the pieces and just like I'm calling out to those of you who I know have tapped into some of that education. Do you find it helpful, guys, when I kind of summon you by your course to bring your attention to something I'm demonstrating? Just type a Y if that's helpful. Okay. Chris says, so many layers, I'm getting fat. Yes. Well, it had to be layers because there's no way that back in 2017, when I made my first course, I could have extracted everything from my brain that I had learned, that I had become an expert on, that I deployed, and just put it in one spot place. It would take forever for you guys to ingest it. So I had to break it up into pieces, make it digestible, and kind of like come to the buffet line and eat what you can when you're ready, okay? All right, so let's keep going here. Let's take this to the daily, and then we'll check in on wherever it's at. So, looking here, John, there's even more short-term resistance ahead. And I'm not showing you the short-term resistance to like fear monger or something, okay? I'm just showing you what was up ahead for this market that you have to watch out for. So this is how I would monitor your trade, okay? Again, without knowing your risk reward, your account size, your details of your rules, I'm just generally saying that you planning to hold this till next week only makes sense to me if over the next few days you see this market close above 94.41, close above 94.99, close above 95.57. Doesn't have to do it one day at a time. I just want to see those barriers broken for you. Does everyone understand that? Type a Y in the chat. This is a great point about trade management. Don't just be like, I'm going to stay in a trade for X amount of time. That's fine as an initial guide, but you should stay in the trade for as long as the market's telling you you're in the trade, that the wave isn't turning. Okay, once it gets above those levels, if it does, then here are some longer term resistance levels. And then if we bring in the magic of forecasting, okay, so I'm looking at this, okay, I'm going to make a quick forecast on the screen and show you the results. And again, forecasting is when you learn it, it's very quick to deploy, but like there's a science to it. I know what I'm doing here, okay? So what I saw was a move that had multiple drives in it. I'm finding the low, high, low. I'm identifying the cycles that lead into it. And now I have mapped a forecast and I'll reveal to you what it is in just a few moments. Because again, if I don't do it this way, then the newer folks will get a little overwhelmed and also make the mistake of trying to do it yourself and lose money. We don't want that. Okay, because a little bit of knowledge can be very, very dangerous. All right, so I'm about to reveal this forecast. In 3, I'm like counting down super slow. 2, and 1. Here we go. Boom. Okay, so John, do you see this? My forecast currently from Morgan Stanley is for price to trade up to $100.87 into April 10th. Guys, do you notice that I just did you a bunch of SPY and ES forecasts that were into April 9th? And this is only one day different? The markets are all related, okay? They don't necessarily turn at the exact same time, but that makes sense, right? Morgan Stanley is a stock component, okay? Like, I don't have them all memorized, but I'm 99% sure this is in the XLF sector ETF of the S&P 500. So it's a component in that big SPY movement, and it also has a similar date. Guys, type a Y in the chat if this is like making sense. Stocks and their forecasts are falling within the big picture of the grand market forecast, the big picture forecast. Okay, good. Okay, John, hope that helped. And cool, I think we're getting a good little variety going here. I will do one more. Okay, we'll make it 5 tickers that I've covered, and then we're going to kind of do a little check-in for a break. All right, so the ones I've covered so far are SPY, CCOI, PANW, MS, and then I'm going to come back to my list here, and I'm going to answer the next one, which was about FN. Okay, so Fred, you're up, okay? So Fred asked about FN, and here we go. He said a bunch of things, so I'm just going to repaste it in the chat for everybody so that you're kind of up to speed. Okay. Bought at 219. Okay, so above where we are now. Hoping to hit 225 target, currently at 186. Do you have any guidance? Well, first, let's just put where you went long. The thing is, you didn't give me where your protective stop is. That makes me concerned that it doesn't exist. So if you have that follow-up information, Fred, you can tell me. But guys, super, super important that when you're buying shares of a stock, unless you have determined that you're willing for it to trade down to $0, you should have a predetermined area that is your stop level, that you're not willing to take a loss beyond that turn lower. So I don't know if you had a stop here, Fred, okay? So no protective stop, rookie mistake. Okay, you admit it. That's the first step in change, okay? So it's all good. Let's go ahead and look at the weekly, okay? You're in your situation, not too late to put a stop, okay? So what I mean is this. I don't know what made you go long. I just know what the price you went long at, right? So if you went long based on something going on back like here, like the market broke out and you went long probably on February 2nd, I'm just guessing in that week, then what happened the following week is that this whole business happened where there was this giant outside bar. I would have recommended that your stop be below the January 5th low. So how am I getting that? And I will give you advanced application to it now. So guys, this is important for everybody to follow along. Ready? Okay. If we come back to the earlier part of this advance, so if you take your eyes from the top right down, 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 you can kind of see there was an important base on May 12th. Everybody see that? Type a Y in the chat. So on May 12th, there was a move higher and it unfolded, and then there was a correction. So this to me was a drive, and it itself has multiple little pieces. Then there was a move higher. This whole bit is kind of messy, but to me, this was basically all one directional move, okay? And then it ended up consolidating. There was then a new move higher that itself had 3 pieces. Now, you didn't know that this was the end of the move, but this is how it ended up turning out. There was 1, 2, 3 bits inside, and then that final week after, completed this directional move. Look at the RSI power zones, guys. You can also see there that it clearly went from one trough to one peak. That can also help you when you're identifying these drives. So had you placed a stop before, it would have been, in my recommendation, somewhere beneath this 181.22 low. But since that didn't happen and you're still in the trade, we'll revisit where you are now. Okay. There's now this low that's sitting out here from February 9th. So let's go to it on a daily chart so we can see more detail. And guys, for anyone who came in late, we are still partying here. I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to take a little training break probably and continue to answer your questions. But I'll, check where you guys are at if you want to do that. So now I believe your stop at the worst case scenario should be near this 166.53. If you break below that, that's not good news for this stock. It'll probably pull back a lot more. Okay. If you want a little bit safer area, so I use red for stops, for sell stops. If you want a safer one, Fred, I would put your stop here beneath the February 21st low, because if we keep coming back down below that, then we're increasing our chances of getting back to the February 6th low. Does that make sense? Everybody see that? Okay, awesome. Okay. So we've gone through a bunch of questions. I've been talking about some elements of price action, and I'm totally going to check in with you guys on where you're at here. Okay. So I want to show you what my sort of game plan is. So here's where I'm at. And I'll share the screen again in a second. I'm just sort of getting my ducks in a row here. Okay. All right. So part of why I shared this session with you, which we're still here doing, and I shared about this in our members Facebook group on a couple of fronts, is a few important updates. The first being that for the first time in a long, long time, I took an extended break from markets analysis of my own trading and doing my own trading for several weeks. I really needed it. So I started this on February 15th, which was my 45th birthday. I thought I'd get back into it sooner, but I could tell, like, no, I just needed to focus on some other things. And now I'm getting back in the groove. So that means that all of the different things in my courses, the tools, the indicators and everything, I personally am going to be kind of like using and kind of heating back up again. Okay, they're coming to the front burner. So if you're up for it, I would like to give you guys a little bit of a training lesson now where we can go deeper in on price action and patterns, and I can show you how you can bring it into your own trading. So the other cool thing is that I've never really done this way before, where I've kind of started a coaching session, done a training, given you the opportunity to perhaps get more education, and then still continue to coach you. So I want to know if that's something you like to do now. This will probably take about 30 minutes if we keep time, and then I'll still keep resuming and coaching you. So I need you to type a full YES if you're interested in that. Okay. Some of you have seen this training. Some of you have known about this type of education before. And for some of you, it'll be brand new. But I only want to do that if it's something you're up for. Otherwise, we can just keep reviewing charts here together. Okay. So let me take a look at the chat. All right. It's blowing up with our yeses. Awesome. Okay. In that case, I will do that. And oops. I want you to know I'm sharing this here with you guys. I want you to be armed with everything you can need for Q2 trading and beyond. And like I said, there's some elements of this that I'm going to kind of have my hands in more actively. And that's why this is a great time to bring it back for you. Okay. So if you're cool with it too, I prefer to stand up when I do training. So I'm going to take a quick minute here to raise my desk. You will see me fly up. Okay. And just switch my slides out and then we'll get cracking. So I'm going to do this here real quick. So I'm going to stop the video. Because actually, I don't want to make you seasick. I'm going to stop the screen share. We're not going anywhere. You might even hear my desk. Does it sound like a spaceship? You hear it? Okay, I didn't mute, but I did shut off the camera. Okay, and now I'm standing. Oh, that feels much better. And I'm going to be back on camera in a moment. Okay, you see me again? Please type a Y if you can see me, please. I will take my glasses off, though, for this part, because the glare is kind of strong. Okay. All right. Vincent said he raised his desk with me. Sweet. Oh, yeah, it feels good. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this right in. I'm not even going to like pause our recording or anything. We're going to get right to it. So let me just kind of switch my screens around and we'll dive in. All right. Okay, so I have the chat off to the side. I'm going to continue kind of through. I'll take moments to kind of pause and see if you guys have questions, but I want to kind of do this efficiently, but still have time to continue to coach you afterwards, okay? So here we go. Can one simple thing really change your trading overnight? Well, maybe it can. So as you know, I'm Hima Reddy, and back in 2012, I was called in to train the top market analysts and portfolio managers around the country in the methods of a trader who mastered the markets an entire century ago, and who was the first guru that I was ever introduced to by my mentor, my dad. Now, for this special educational series, I partnered with several Wall Street firms and professional organizations to deploy this powerful information. And these sessions we had, they were very successful, and we had a really good time doing it. And all that time, I wanted to help the solo trader like you, okay? I wanted to help you unlock these methods. So I literally wrote the book on Gann's techniques, introduced Gann by my father to me, and individual traders started seeing the results too. Mr. Alden loved the work because it delivers a simple, direct, and very straightforward approach to Gann analysis, and he considers it a necessary addition to a serious trader's toolbox. Oh, I think I did not share yet. Haha, now you know we're live, baby. Okay, let's start again. How we do that? I was in the middle of screen sharing and it froze. Okay, can you guys type the letter C if you see can one simple thing? I'm glad I caught that. Okay, thank you. Oops, rewind. All right, I have some notes here to guide me, obviously. Okay, we're gonna start again. Ready? Here we go. Can one simple thing really change your trading overnight? Well, maybe it can. I'm Hima Reddy, and back in 2012, I was called in to train the top market analysts and portfolio managers around the country in the methods of a trader who mastered the markets an entire century prior, and who was the first guru I was introduced to by my mentor, my dad. Now, for this special educational series, I partnered with several Wall Street firms and professional organizations to deploy this powerful information. And we were very, very successful with the training we did. And we had a really good time doing it. And all I wanted was to help the solo trader, like you, unlock these methods too. So I literally wrote the book on these techniques, introduced by a trader named W.D. Gann, and individual traders started seeing the results too. Mr. Alden loved the work because it delivers a simple, direct, and very straightforward approach to Gann analysis, and he considers it a necessary addition to a serious trader's toolbox. Alan found it to be a very useful and simply written and an easy to understand introduction to technical analysis of stocks, with lots of simple and easy to understand diagrams, well described and not buried in acronyms, which he appreciated because if you've ever read Gann's works, many people get lost in the terminology and unique language. And Andrew, an intraday futures trader, found the trading methods to be very useful. Rather than having to make a lifetime of studying Gann himself, he liked how the book helped cover Gann material and how to apply it to modern markets. So fast forward several years, and my readers and tribe like you started hounding me to give them the complete Gann system that I kept to myself since that time. And I looked back over those many years of trading and training traders, and I asked myself, what was the big thing that really made the difference? And in a moment, I'll tell you what I found out. But first, who is W.D. Gann? And why would you want to follow anything he did? Well, his full name was William Delbert Gann, and Mr. Gann was born in 1878 in East Texas to a cotton farmer. He began trading in 1902, and his career spanned over 40 years. Now, Gann's first book, The Truth of the Stock Tape, was published in 1923, and his last book, called The Magic Word, was published in 1950. And when Gann died in 1955, he left behind quite a legacy of market analysis and study, namely focused on price action, those individual bars and candles on your charts, and market timing. So why try to learn from Gann's teachings? Well, back in 1909, a 25-year market veteran named William Gilly was brought in to validate the success or failure of Gann's methods. And during that time, Gilly observed Gann. He watched Gann make 286 trades, and 264 of those were winning trades. That's a 92% success rate. Above all, Gilly documented a series of predictions that were made by Gann during October of 1909, and here's one of those many accounts. One of the most astonishing calculations made by Mr. Gann was during the summer of 1909, when he predicted that September wheat would sell at $1.20. This meant that it must touch that figure before the end of the month of September. At 12 o'clock Chicago time on September 30th, the last day, the option was selling below $1.08, and it looked as though his prediction would not be fulfilled. Mr. Gann said, if it does not touch 120 by the close of the market, it will prove that there is something wrong with my whole method of calculation. I do not care what the price is right now, it must go there. September wheat surprised the whole country by selling at $1.20 and no higher in the very last hour of trading, closing at that figure. There are traders who have dedicated their lives to understanding this material and unlocked amazing knowledge from it. I'm one of those traders, having studied his works for over the past 24 years. Now, here's the thing. You don't have 24 years to squeeze the goodness out from Gann. You want to benefit from his knowledge right now. So the best way to do that, for you to get into Gann, to get deeper into his works, even if you've already started, is to have a helpful guide to make his complex work simple. And you have to know where to start. So remember I said that Gann dove deep into price action and market timing, right? Well, the best place to start with Gann's work is with the price action side of it, specifically his trading patterns. So what are the Gann trading patterns? They're simply the repeated sequences of price that present themselves over and over in the markets that allow you to see the patterns in the market so you can see the trends coming. And while Gann talks about them in his writings, I had to map them out graphically myself in order to apply them to today's markets. So why would you want Gann's trading patterns? They separate the serious and consistent traders from the hobbyists and unlock the most powerful setups in any market condition. Because Gann's approach to the markets was built off the most time-tested set of markets out there, commodities, right? The world will always trade gold, oil, soybeans, and so much more. So sourcing patterns from those markets allowed Gann to trade with insane precision. Now, it can work for all traders, and with your permission, I'm going to show you actual case studies and take you through pattern exercises so you can see how it works for yourself. Would that be okay? Guys, type a Y for me in the chat if you'd like to keep going here. Okay, great. Because the time is now, because this system gives you the edge in the markets right now. So why did all those experts call me in to teach their top traders? Because I literally wrote the book on Gann, The Trading Methods of W.G. Gann, and published a second edition of that book in the midst of the pandemic due to massive demand. Now, I've been training thousands of traders around the world in all the networks you see here. And sure, now I'm the leading scholar on Gann, but it wasn't always this way. You know how it is. You look at a chart and all you see is up and down moves that in hindsight made a lot of sense. But in the moment of trading, they leave you totally confused and sick and like a deer in headlights, frozen in confusion, unable to take a trade with any confidence. Now, I'll never forget the moment I was sitting in front of my charts and all I wanted to do was take the right trade. And I was so frustrated. I could feel the heartburn bile rising up in my throat. My face got hot, my fists were clenched tight. I thought I was learning the right way to trade, reading all the books, but still, the numbers never made any sense. And I couldn't take a single trade with any confidence. Until one day I started looking at the data differently. And I saw what I was doing wrong and how to fix it. And that's the moment it all turned around. And looking back, I realized that the biggest shift that made the most significant difference for my trading was that I started being really systematic with how we applied the GAN tools and methods. And it was in that moment that I realized, how we look at the data is just as important, if not more important, than placing the trades. And GAN has had the answer all along. And because there wasn't a simple system to pull it all together, I created my GAN trading pattern system. But I'm not here to sell you a system. I'm here for a bigger reason. Back in 2016, my beloved dad and mentor passed away. And GAN's tools and methods are the legacy he left me. And I want to make sure that those are never lost. And every trader I help to boost their trading and achieve financial freedom, I see my dad and his legacy. And that's my why. Because what my dad taught me is that trading equals freedom. That when you control your financial freedom, you're the captain of your own life. You call the shots and you have the power. And clearly that's what we all want, right? Freedom. Guys, type a Y in the chat. If you want freedom, that's why you're trading. You want time freedom. You want flexibility of where to work, when to work, where to live. You want to be able to supplement your retirement. You want to be able to grow your nest egg, Easter egg, or find the golden eggs to trade and focus on those markets, right? That's what it's all about. Awesome. And clearly, there are challenges. GAN's tools and methods seem obscure to many. They can seem complicated and difficult to add to what you're already doing because you didn't have a GAN system. And now that you do, it's time to remember what you forgot to remember. You can let it be easy. So let me show you what I mean, and the time will go by like that. All right. So what I'd like to do now is share 3 little exercises with you right now, and these will help you understand the GAN trading patterns, and we're going to do them together. And just like one should do before any exercise, I'm going to warm you up. Okay, I'm going to teach you the foundational components that you need to make the most of GAN trading patterns. I've never shared it this way before, and you're the first to see it here today. So you guys ready to do those warm-up exercises? This is what I said earlier, that we're going to get into the foundations, the core bits of price action, so you have that to keep going in your education here. Okay, awesome. Let's get to it. Warm-up number 1 is called Know Your Bars. Okay, we're about to get really atomic here, and then I'm going to drop the knowledge bombs. So this is going to be a refresher for any of you who've been trading for a while, and it'll be a jumping off platform for those of you who are brand new to trading. So GAN's trading patterns, they focus on what I call price action. Price action is best defined starting with a company, something we all know and familiar with. So I'm going to start with Apple here, okay? The maker of the iPhones and more. Now, Apple, the company, is a publicly traded one, meaning it's owned by the shareholders, whether they're internal members of the company or external like you and I. And when you plot the chart of the price action of Apple stock, the horizontal axis down below represents time unfolding to the right. And in this particular chart, this time was measured in days. Therefore, these little bars you see in the middle of the chart are each 1 day apart. The vertical axis on the chart represents price, specifically the price in US dollars at which shares traded during the time period associated with the time axis, which we've already determined here is the daily time period. Therefore, the bar that's the furthest to the right, the most recent bar, therefore, the bar that's the furthest to the right is the most recent bar. And then the day prior is more recent, and then you go back in time from there. So you might be wondering, how is each of these bars constructed? Again, if you've seen this before, I'm going to show it to you in a different way. But first, let's refresh ourselves with the most basic measurement of price. You can see on the left that there's what's called an OHLC bar. What's OHLC? Well, this was the most common type of charting back in the day. And the O stands for open. That's the opening session at which buyers or sellers are meeting on the price of that stock. Then the height of the bar is determined by the highest price at which that stock traded during that period, and it's labeled a high. And the lowest price traded determines the low of the bar. We call it the low. Then the session wraps up, right? Whether it's a day or shorter or longer, and that's the close. Now, what we want to do is really get to know these bars because they're not all created equal. So this is where we take the basic setup of the open, high, low, close bar or candle, and we get really specific on naming and referencing these bars once the chart analysis begins. We're going to have a few different types of bars for this warm-up, so take notes and keep watching. First, we have what's called a bar low, bar with a capital B. This is the lowest price traded for a particular period of time. So on a daily chart, like the Apple one I just showed you, it's 1 day. On a weekly chart, it would be 1 week. On a 5-minute chart, it would be 5 minutes, and so on. Now, it is vitally important that you look at the entire bar, the whole range, meaning the low to the high, whether you're studying candlesticks or plain bars. Okay, I can't tell you how many students ask me if the edges are included or if they only focus on the open and close. We include the edges. You need the high and the low to determine what the bar low is. Now, the opposite of the bar low is the bar high. This is the highest price traded for a particular period of time. And again, it's vitally important to look at the entire bar. So let's go back to the Apple chart. And now I've changed those open, high, low, close bars to Japanese candlesticks, since that's how most modern traders study price action. And here's a part of that Apple chart zoomed in. So you can see that I've labeled a bar high and a bar low. Beyond the bar high and the bar low is what's called the price high and low. Now we're getting a little more complex. This is price with a capital P. So here's what I mean. A price low is an instance of price where there is a lower low in price surrounded by two higher lows. So first there's a bar low like you just learned, then a lower bar low, then a higher bar low. Now, note I have removed the hash marks for open and close here just to keep the focus on the individual bar highs and lows, but a full candle or a full bar would have the hash marks as well. Guys, type a Y in the chat if you're getting this. This is the first advanced application of taking bars and putting them into patterns. This is atomic, elemental, molecular, okay? And nobody ever teaches it in this simple way before and then expands from there. All right, awesome. On the flip side, we have the price high. It's an instance of price. It's an instance of a range of price, because again, we count the wicks and shadows. We're posting a higher high in price surrounded by two lower highs. So first there's a bar high, then a higher bar high, then a lower bar high. So now we have a total of 4 different types of bars. Let's go back to our Apple chart and see if we can identify price highs and lows. Now take a look at this and see, do you see any here? That's right, this is a little bit of a trick question. There are no price highs or lows on the sliver of action I just gave you. But what about now? Do we have a price high in motion? Absolutely. First, there was a bar high, then a higher bar high, then a lower bar high. Notice I did not say that the third bar in the formation has to have a specific characteristic for its low. I just pointed out that it needs to have a lower high. And as you can see here, this market actually broke down from there. So now we have a third set of price action, and that's going to round us out. This third and final type of price action is called the swing low. This is different. It's an instance of a range of price posting a lower low in price surrounded by two higher lows on each side. So let's walk it out. There's a low, there's a lower low, and there's a third lower low. Then there's a higher low with a fifth bar being yet another higher low. This creates an even stronger type of price action than the price low, and the price low was stronger than the bar low. And we're going to look at this all more in a moment. So let's look at the opposite, the flip side of the swing low. That's the swing high. So this is when a range of price posts a higher high surrounded by two lower highs on each side. So first there's a high, then a higher high, then a third higher high, then a lower high, with the fifth bar being yet another lower high. Again, for illustration purposes, I've kept the ranges of bars without the hash marks, and I've also kept them the same length. They don't have to be though. Okay, now let's bring this all together back on that Apple chart, and let's unfold more of that price action where you can now see the swing highs being revealed. Notice that here, price traded lower from that swing high, as it often does. But this doesn't always happen, okay? Just because you identify swing high, it doesn't mean you should sell stocks that you own. Because these different types of bars, they fit into directional moves in price, and this leads to our second warm-up as we get ready for our three keys. So you guys ready for our second warm-up? Again, it's really elemental, really basic, but I'm making sure you all have an equal foundation, and then we're getting to our three keys to price patterns. All right, fantastic. Warm-up number 2, select price action. I get this question all the time. Hima, if I'm looking at a daily chart, how far back should I go to study the bar, price, and swing highs? What if it's a 3-minute chart? What if it's a weekly chart? Well, here's a great guide so we can make the most of our pattern secrets. Here's a monthly chart where every candlestick represents an entire month, about 20 trading days of price action. Now, if you are studying the key swing lows on this chart of the SPY using monthly bars or candles, I would recommend selecting 12 to 15 years to look back to be prepared to implement the three keys. Now, those of you here with me, March 28th, 5:52 p.m. Eastern, since I'm teaching this to you live, I will put these timeframes on here. Take notes and then type the letter M once you're ready to move on to the next time frame. This is how much data you should be looking at. I get this question all the time. I'm giving it to you, okay? All right, and if you are moving at a little bit slower pace than everybody else, don't worry, we are recording and we'll share this information. Now here's a weekly chart, every candle representing an entire week or about 5 trading days of price action. If you were to study the key swing lows on this chart of Amazon using weekly bars or candle, I would recommend selecting 3 to 6 years back to be prepared to implement the three keys. Making sense? All right, awesome. I'll give you a few more popular timeframes. Okay, those of you who are live, please type W if you got this. When you're looking at a weekly chart, try to look back 3 to 6 years to have enough data to really truly understand the price action for the trends. Okay, awesome. Here's a daily chart where every candle is representing one day of price action. If you were to study the key swing lows or swing highs on this chart of Tesla using daily bars or candles, I would recommend looking back at least 3 to 6 months to be prepared to implement the three keys. So 3 to 6 months for a daily chart, guys. This is probably the most popular trading time frame we look at in coaching or that you ask me about. So type a D once you've jotted that, okay? Awesome. Now we're going to go intraday. So for a 60-minute chart like this one of oil futures, I recommend looking at 2 to 4 weeks of price action data. For this, you can just type a 6 when you're ready. And if you missed it, don't worry, you'll be able to go back. Well, excuse me, choking. Okay, I'm fine. Oh, this is how you know things are live. Okay, I'm running low on water. I might have to text my husband to bring me some more. Okay. The allergens are kicking in. It's springtime, right? Okay. Let's look at the next one here. Now, if you were trading a 5-minute chart, say of the E-mini S&P 500 futures, my baby, then I would recommend looking at least 2 to 4 days of price action to be able to identify the key swing highs and lows, price highs and lows, and bar highs and lows. All right, guys. So this is giving you, again, I've never shared it this way in a coaching session like this before. So I want to make sure you have this. So jot this down and type the number 5 when you're ready, and then we'll keep going. All right. So here's a summary. Now, keep in mind, you wouldn't be mapping out every single bar, price, swing high and low on your chart. There is a method to knowing your bars and matching them up with the selected price action, and I'm going to speak to that more in a moment. I'm just showing you here the foundation you need to get started with my pattern secrets. And remember, these are minimum requirements. You can always select more history if you like. Okay, are you guys warmed up? Type a Y in the chat, and now we're going to dig into the 3 exercises. Believe it or not, for this training, everything you saw so far, I never used to teach before. I used to just get right into the 3 exercises you're about to see now. So I hope you are appreciating that I have done my job of getting really elemental and giving you that foundation. Okay, now let's continue with the 3 exercises. Feeling warmed up? Okay, awesome. Let's get into the 3 keys to GAN trading patterns. Now, I know you've been working steadily on your trading and are ready to dive in here because that's who finds me. Some of these keys you'll recognize, so you know what we're about to say is true. You've likely struggled with some of these patterns in the past because part of the magic is in the sequencing and timing. Making sense? Right? And when you see these keys deployed, you'll know that this time will be simple because you're ready and because our system makes it easy because this time you have help. So the first thing you want to do is identify price drives. Markets move in 3 to 4 drives, and you've got to know which drive you're in to make the best possible trades. So let me show you what I mean, and we'll do this exercise together. Here's market action that I called out to our tribe as it was happening, where price, time, and momentum came together to produce this fantastic run-up in Netflix. Again, I even called it out to our tribe as it was happening. Now, looking back 6 months from the end of the up move, we can see that Netflix was in an uptrend with higher highs and higher lows. But there was an additional clue that the move I saw forming near the 271.22 low was going to be a powerful one. And it was in the drives. A drive is a section advancing prices or declining prices. If you've tried to decipher GAN by yourself, he called them sections. And my dad taught me them as drives using the analogy of a hammer and a nail. Okay, the hammer creates a force that drives the nail into place. And most of the time, it takes a few swings of that hammer to drive the nail into its final position. So the blue arrows here show that there had been 2 distinct drives higher in price before I even marked that momentum signal that came up later. And after I brought this setup to the attention of my tribe, there were 2 more drives that you can see here in purple that created this amazing opportunity in Netflix. So knowing how market drives work added even more evidence to the move that unfolded from the 271.22 low, the corrective move after the second drive, to 423.21, the high at the end of the 4th drive, producing a 56% move higher. Now, caution, this is a Hima-ready exclusive application of GAN. Don't do this at home without help, okay? After all, it's what brought you here today. If you could do this without help, you wouldn't be here. So in a moment, I'm going to show you what you've been missing, and then we can look at how I can teach you more in depth. Awesome. Daniel's getting it. Using a lot of the GAN techniques taught by Hima, I've had a very good 3 non-losing successful weeks. And I love hearing your success stories like this, and we're going to hear more in a moment. But first, let's move on to exercise 2, where we're going to monitor relative drive size together, the GAN way, so you never get caught off guard by shifting the trend. Imagine and picture sitting in front of your charts, and suddenly the patterns are clear. And you know that the trend is going to, and you know what the trend is going to do with high probability. One of the first things you'll notice is how naturally the patterns will jump out at you. So you can trade with confidence in any market condition. All right, we're going to do it together now. So we're going to look at the drives within the current trend and then measure their sizes in price and in time. So let's go to the charts and I'll show you what I mean from a Gann perspective. Here's a chart of the Swiss franc. There was a bottoming pattern in price and momentum that I brought to the attention of the tribe as it was unfolding, leading to the price move higher shown by this big green arrow. Now, what I'm always hearing is, hey, it's great that you spotted this move before it happened, Hima, but exactly how do I trade it? Well, I'm going to show you right now, because until now you weren't ready for this Gann material. And now that you are, it's time to pull back the curtain some more. So in the prior downtrend, knowing the drives lower and which were the most significant would have kept you extra on guard for the bottoming pattern that formed. Here, let me show you. Do you see it? The downtrend into the low broke up into 4 distinct drives. Do you see the first one? Up at the blue in the left? Here's number 2, here's number 3, here's number 4. Awesome. Now we're going to look not only at the direction of the moves, but the sizes of moves in price and time. So the key move is identified by the yellow highlight and numbered 1. So let me be real specific here. This move I am measuring and comparing it to future action. This is what Gann did. He related future price and time relationships back to old ones in a very systematic way. And the price action after the momentum-driven signal labeled as number 2, it started to move in a specific manner relating to that key price number 1. So I've created a duplicate of the yellow highlight so you can easily see this here, comparing the two. This was added evidence to the case that this downtrend was changing. And that would probably change to up and you could be ready to capitalize on it. Those of you here live, making sense? That there was a move from the low at 1 to the high at 1. And now we're comparing that to future moves. And that's a whole new way of looking at your price action to determine if the trend's going to change. Boom. Awesome. Deontay says, this is such gold, Hima. Awesome. John, I'm giving you here the whole overview. I get into the details of exactly how to do it in the system, and I'll talk more about how you can dig into the system in a moment. I'm just showing you here what you didn't know that you didn't know. Okay? Allowing you to be ready to enter the huge advance marked by the green arrow in its early phases on facts and data rather than just guessing. So price action off the 0.9186 low, which was followed by price action that was significant when monitoring relative drive size, to the 1.0050 high, this created an $8,600 move in size based on trading just one contract. Guys, are you getting this? Yes, type a Y in the chat. The power of this. Awesome. John says, awesome stuff. Yes, thank you. Like Andrew, I'm an intraday futures trader and found the trading methodologies very useful. Successful trading the markets is about understanding the charts and what they're telling us. Hima covers the Gann material and how to apply it. FYI, this is the same Andrew that graduated from my Skinny on the Mini research that I used to provide, and he went on into my Gann training. Will you be my next success story? But first, there's another essential piece. So let's move on to exercise 3 together, where we are going to demystify Gann patterns. There are patterns for trend reversal as well as trend continuation, just like in traditional technical analysis. And you've got to stay on top of the status of any trend to be able to consistently extract profits from the market. Making sense? All right, so let's go to the charts and we're going to do this exercise together. Now, I brought my tribe's attention to this chart of the SPY ETF when the high that you see here at 293.94 was forming. It led to this move down to 259.85, showing an 11% decline. Good stuff. But what about the market after that initial decline? How are you supposed to know whether the downtrend was over or would resume? This is where Gann's buying and selling rules come in. And he has one specific rule that brought my attention to the formation of this high at 280.40 as being the high ahead of a potentially significant down move. I warned my tribe before the really hard selling began resulting in the following. After posting the high at 280.40, the SPY declined to the low at 233.76, posting a 16% move lower. And that was in addition to the prior 11% decline. Would you love to profit from a move like that? Guys, type a Y in the chat if you'd like to be able to continue to trade with the freaking market after it moves. So many of you tell me, oh, I got a piece of the action and then it just all ran away from me. This is how you stay in the game. This is how you ride the wave, surf the surf. Now I'm making stuff up. Okay. All right. This is what happens when I stand up. I get energy. Demystifying the Gann patterns makes it so that these potential moves jump out to you from the chart. So wouldn't it be great to have simplified patterns that make it all just work for you? I mean, just consider for a moment how good you'll feel when you can see the patterns in any market condition and trade with confidence again. I mean, wouldn't that feel awesome? By now, you're seeing one of Gann's traders' greatest secrets. How do they always seem to find opportunity? How are they always able to act on it? Patterns are that Gann secret. And if you think about it in that framework, what it does is it takes 100% of focus off of you and your information overload and shifts it to the most important part of trading, which is going to be your data. Like this move in oil, which went from the 43.89 low to the 67.09 high, making it 53% in size. Here's the thing. How would you have traded it along the way? Because it's more than just a basic view of buying near a low and selling near a high. It's about making the most of a trend and the drives within it using Gann patterns to find them. So once you know your price bars and determine the price action to study, like we did in our warm-up, it's time to dig into those keys. And again, key number one is to identify the price drives. So knowing the drives clues us into the true origins of this 53% up move. So you can see them marked here by the blue arrows and by the purple ones. 3 clear drives down. Next, we monitor the relative drive size. And we do this by noting the most significant moves, highlighted here in yellow. Then we demystify Gann patterns. As the advance from 43.89 to 67.09 unfolded, there were Gann signals that you could have systematically applied. Here, let me show you. This orange arrow marks the first point of entry following a Gann bottoming pattern that unfolded. This second orange arrow shows a long entry point based on a Gann trend continuation pattern that emerged. And this third orange arrow marks another instance of that same Gann trend continuation pattern. So if you're a day trader, you want to be fully out of the market at the end of the trading session. So spotting these patterns would have allowed you to take advantage of intraday upside price action in line with the bigger picture daily uptrend, boosting your profits. Day traders who are here live with me, type the letter D in the chat if you see the benefit. If you can understand the Gann patterns on the higher time frames, it can shape your shorter time frame trades. You don't have to sit there and wonder, ooh, which way are we going today? You have the pattern from the higher time frame, you stick with that direction during your day. Okay, awesome. Now, if you're a swing trader, spotting and trading these patterns would have allowed you to build your long position with the trend and simultaneously protect your profits accumulating along the way. As these vertical green arrows show. This would have increased your profit potential from this same exact move by over 200%. I mean, take a look. Each section of the uptrend noted by the smaller green arrows, when you add them all up, is more than twice the height of this larger green arrow covering the total advance. So for the same square footage on the chart, you would have pulled greater gains. It's like being able to build a 2-story apartment to rent instead of a single family dwelling. Literally twice the earning potential with the same footprint. Guys, type a Y in the chat if you're getting this. When you layer all those 3 exercises together on top of the foundation, now you're able to pull from price action in ways you've never had before. Now, let me ask you, have you learned a lot? Have you seen the difference to using Gann patterns with the expert? Great. I want to thank you for participating in this training. And if these concepts and ideas are helpful to you, then you might be a good fit for a program that I've created specifically for our trading tribe, which is you. And it's called the GAN Trading Pattern System. So here's the deal. Let's talk about you. You're watching this GAN training right now. You've been with me the entire time we've been together, and you know that trading with solid data is a good idea. You know that if you were to trade more consistently, then you'd likely boost your trading results, and that would be awesome, right? And that's why I've specifically designed the GAN Trading Pattern System. So what the GAN Trading Pattern System is a system that walks you through my very process for trading systematically with the GAN tools and methodologies. The GAN Trading Pattern System is very exclusive. Each group is limited exclusively to the Hima Ready tribe only. And the whole program is specifically designed for traders who are looking to increase the results of what you're already doing by integrating GAN patterns. It shows you how to identify your price drive using solid data, monitor relative drive size properly, like we did here together today, where you measure the data instead of just guessing with your gut. It shows you how to identify the GAN patterns in a cool, simple way for fast trend changes. And it shows you all this so that you can trade with confidence. So if you want to trade with confidence and do it the right way, not the guessing way, but using systematic data, and if you want to take the best possible trades, and if you want to take the most money off the table, and if you want to never get caught off guard, all at the same time while you're riding the fast trend changes, then this is specifically for you. If you're a veteran trader, what you'll learn in this will definitely take your trading to the next level, just in the price drives alone. If you're new to trading and you want to trade the data and bypass your learning curve, this is equally as important for you. Because I'll give you a proven blueprint of a system that's been working very, very well for me and for my traders, as you've seen their stories and even done it with me yourself here today. And that's precisely what I did with my dad when I first started trading. So it's working well, and you can apply that model that's working really well for me and apply it to your trading. So here's how we're going to do this. Okay, here's how we're going to accomplish you mastering GAN trading patterns. During our work together, the primary focus is to help you get simplified, predictable, and consistent growth in your trading using GAN system, and ultimately do that while simultaneously eliminating stress, getting rid of overwhelm, and banishing confusion from your life forever. And in that effect, all these things is to ultimately increase your freedom. The freedom to work when and where you want to work, with people you truly care about. The pathway we take to get you there is pretty simple. It starts with 4 on-demand training sessions. The focus of every training is to simply teach GAN tools and patterns that you can add into your trading right away. GAN trading patterns system has 4 on-demand sessions, right? Well, each session covers one part of the system. Session 1 is price time secrets. You know how in our warm-up I showed you how to know your bars and select price action? We get deeper into this in session 1. I provide you the complete insights to incorporate all of this into your trading approach fast. And I even provide a secret downloadable calculator that I invented, not my dad, not GAN, but me, with step-by-step instructions so you can use it right away to discover the key relationships between price and time on your markets. And guys, for those of you here live, March 28th, this calculator that's in the system, that's part of what I'm going to be updating for my own trading this Easter weekend into Monday. So members of my GAN trading pattern system are going to see an extra video where I'm literally showing how I'm using the calculator in this current environment and able to benefit from it. Now, session number 2 is price patterns. This is where we go. This is where we go to the next level on how to monitor relative drive size and demystify GAN-specific price patterns. Remember that uncanny wheat forecast that I shared earlier? The price patterns are what GAN used to make trades at forecasted levels like that one. Now, there are detailed illustrations, case studies, and more to get you identifying and trading these patterns across a variety of markets and timeframes. Now, you may have heard of price patterns before, but I bet you never heard about this. Session number 3 is all about GAN's time patterns. That's right, I said time. I teach you how to monitor relative drive size in time. This approach is not taught in any of my other courses or systems. And we continue to demystify GAN patterns, this time looking at time patterns. GAN was able to strategically compare durations of moves in time to help catch market turns. And I show you exactly how in the system. Now, these time patterns are illustrated to get you identifying and trading these time patterns. And it's going to feel like you're going from a 2D world to a 3D one. with case studies across markets and timeframes as well. All right, last but not least is session 4, where we get into maximizing profit. This includes the secrets to high volatility trading. It will allow you to transform from a money-based trader to a move-based trader, where you strategically know how to maximize profits for strong moves. And there's so much more, not just to session 4, but to all of these sessions. And it's all on demand and ready for you in the GAN trading set. And it's all on demand and ready for you in the GAN trading patterns portal. Now, with these 4 sessions of on-demand training, you'll be deploying my pattern secrets in no time. And to get even more out of it, you're going to have the right guide to get you going. So you're also going to get your GAN trading patterns quick start study guide. It's going to get you started the right way out of the gate. It'll show you step-by-step what you need to do, including a study guide, an onboarding guide for the GAN trading patterns course. There's a quick assessment exercise to anchor where you are now to the trader you're about to become with the system, with a detailed study plan that you can adapt to your pace. Now, as you've seen here, there's a lot of information to learn and it's presented in full detail. But sometimes you just want a quick snapshot to reference, like when you're trading and you're in the heat of the moment and you need a reminder about a particular price or time pattern. Well, I've got just the thing for you. It's your GAN trading patterns cheat sheet. These are snapshots of the most actionable, important slides from your on-demand sessions. And I actually recommend taking notes on the cheat sheets directly while you study the videos and use the secret calculator. You can print them out anytime or use them digitally, whatever works for your learning style. And be sure to keep them by your trading desk. And I asked myself, what else could you possibly need to succeed? Well, how about if I took you through the markets personally? Would you like that? To work with me, a veteran Wall Street analyst, live? Would that help you? Guys, those of you who are here live with me for the very first time, would you like to be able to be in this type of environment again? Asking me questions about your education, seeing your markets requests and more? Type a Y in the chat. All right, awesome. Here's what I'm going to do to make that happen. You'll also get monthly group coaching live for life. Once a month, we'll get together online with me personally, and we'll spend an hour together. You'll be looking over my shoulder as I demonstrate trade setups on current markets, answer your burning questions, review your personal tickers right there for you live, and help you grow your account. It's like getting a call from me personally every month, giving you behind the scenes rundown of everything that's moving the needle the most right now, and then showing you how to model it in your trading fast. And to really make it useful to you, you're also getting the recordings of the sessions uploaded to your members area so you can review them again and again. Now, my trading tribe loves these sessions for a monthly tune-up of their trading. And the only other way to have access to this information would be if you worked in my office shoulder to shoulder with me every day. Now, in addition to all of this, so essentially what you're getting now is the exact system that I personally use, and except for those few trainings years ago, I've kept to myself. And my students have given rave reviews. GAN Demystified, absolutely outstanding. I use this as a constant reference. Hima's ability to simplify the complex is invaluable. Judith emailed to say, thank you for being a quality times 10 teacher, and to the team. You are standouts. And thank you for creating such an informative and fantastic course. And one of my earliest mentorship students, AJ, even shared with fellow traders in our members Facebook group, I'm currently on video 4 of the GAN videos and blown away by the stuff I learn all the time. I was able to capitalize on selling NQ this morning as well from what I learned in video 3. Thanks, Hima, for the great material you always provide. I'm giving you my system and walking you through it step by step, a system that I've successfully deployed in my trading and analysis career for over 24 years, and I'm only now releasing this training on these GAN patterns. That's what I'm giving you. The price? Well, you could literally spend $1,000 getting all of GAN's main books, and that's not even counting the out-of-print ones. But GAN has no pictures or illustrations of his patterns, and you'd have to figure out how to see what he means in the chart yourself. And honestly, few can, and that's why many get stuck when trying to do it themselves. You could try to spend $10,000 to attend 5-day intensive GAN trading seminars like I have, but they aren't even teaching them anymore. And the GAN traders are keeping the knowledge to themselves now. You could spend 20 plus years reading GAN and staring at the charts to get your breakthrough. Or you could take all of my hard work of interpreting GAN for modern trading, adding actual charts that make GAN easy to understand so you can get to trading faster and invest all that time and money you saved into your trading account to build your nest egg faster. So let me ask you, if all this system did was finally help you break the code to trade less while making more profit, would it be worth it? Yes. If all this system did was help you trade the most actionable part of the trend so you can make the most profit in the least time, would it be worth it? Absolutely. If all this system did was help you stay out of the way when the market is sideways and noisy so you can just keep your precious profits, would it be worth it? Of course. Now, this system is equally, if not more valuable than anything I've done before, but way more affordable. And this training is limited exclusively to the Hima Ready tribe only. And you can enroll now for one simple, easy investment of only $497. So click the link to get started. Those of you here live with me, the link is in the chat. Anna just dropped it in. So here's what I want you to do, right? Click the button, fill in your information, get your login info after you've placed your order, and then what's going to happen is you'll immediately have your login information sent to you by email. And you'll have instant access to your course materials, starting with your quick start guide and your cheat sheets leading right into each of the 4 on-demand sessions. So by the end of the 4th session, we'll have gone through the entire system and you should be applying the GAN trading patterns to your own trading, if you're not already trading the patterns and boosting your trading before it's even over. Because technically, you'll be learning the system and implementing the GAN tools and methods in the first 3 sessions, following all our instructions. Session number 4 is what to do to boost your profits, right? So by the end of those 4 sessions, by the end of session 4, I expect you and I want to help you have your GAN trading patterns integrated to what you're already doing. Paper trading the system and seeing the results that you're thrilled with so you can go live and boost your trading. That's our mission together, and that's what I'm dedicating to doing with you in this system and doing for you in this course. So I'm going to give you, like I said, 4 sessions. And the biggest reason I structure it this way, guys, is because the biggest hindrance to people's progress, I've learned this with 20 years of dealing with education, the biggest hindrance to people's progress is overwhelm. So what I've just done is in every session, I'm going to give you just the thing you need to accomplish that session. I'm not going to give you 9 million pages of stuff to sort through. You don't want 9 million pages. You want a simple way to maximize your profits and trade with confidence. So I'm going to give you that in the fastest, most chunked down, accessible, easy to use manner possible. And that's why we're going to do it together over 4 sessions. Now, listen, this is an incredible bargain right now for the tribe only. And here's the thing. When you click the button and invest in this system today, I'm going to give you all this because I want to see you finally succeed in your trading. So I'm giving you our personal 100% satisfaction buy-back guarantee. Take action now, use the complete package for 90 days, and wear the tires off the system. If you aren't 100% satisfied with your investment, then I'll give you your money back as my gift to you. I want you to be 150% satisfied with the GAN trading pattern system. Because after all, my clients tend to stick around a long time and become my friends too. So follow the whole system, okay? I want you to treat it like a rental car. Put it through its paces. Get out there, wear the tires off the thing. And if you don't feel you've gotten far more than your investment, then I will hop on the phone with you. I will personally work with you. And what I really want is for you to be totally satisfied. And if that still hasn't happened, then I'll give you your money back. Simple as that. So if you want to learn how to identify price drives, if you want to master relative drive sides, if you want to profit from fast trend changes, and if you want to take more money off the table, then the GAN trading pattern system is exactly where you need to go and enroll. So you can go ahead and click the link, click the button. This is an amazing course. It's an amazing value. It's for a limited time. It's for the tribe only. So I urge you to click the button now while you can, and I'll see you on the inside. Really, if this sounds like a good idea for you, and it sounds like something you might find helpful, go ahead and click the button and let's get started. Regardless of what you decide to do, I sure do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this training I've given you, and I hope you find it helpful. Okay, guys. I'm live. I'm here. We're going to keep looking at some more markets. I'm going to answer your questions as well. So what I'll do is, sure, I'll drop that link here as we have in the background so I can get back to answering some of your questions. And just give me one moment while I do this. I legit am so excited. Like, I'm not kidding when I say I'm really excited to sit with the calculator and over the next few days, update it. The last time I did an update on it was in January, and it helped me very accurately be ready for the run up on the SPY in January. And I kept all the traders who were following my research at that time kind of guided with it, and it was great. I've since focused more now on teaching you guys methods and tools. The research legs of my previous business, I have paused and they're not coming back because I want to focus more on teaching you how to think, not giving you the fish and giving you the trades. Of course, I can give you help and insights here in coaching sessions and more, but I want to focus more on using the tools. So I'm going to be literally going in this exact system and giving you time-sensitive information only to its members this weekend. Now, that information you'll be able to use for a few days, but you're going to want it the moment I put it in there. And I'll probably work on it tomorrow or Sunday, but it's going to be in there ASAP, along with everything else that's ready. So I see your questions here and I want to answer them. And I'm going to keep doing more markets analysis. So like I said, I'm going to just drop this link here. Just give me one moment. Little live action edits here. And here we go. Okay, so you're going to see my screen again in a few moments. And Anna's also got the link in the chat. All right. This is my Easter gift to you guys. I'm reopening this. It was not on schedule to do this, but I was like, we got it. We got to do it because I'm going to be doing the work. And I want them there with me diving into this powerful information. Okay. So here we go. All right. Now you can see all of this information and I'm going to move through with you. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Robert. Good seeing you. Okay. Awesome, John. Okay. David asks, is this the same as Gann's candlesticks trading patterns? No, David, it's not. So that's a great question. And let me answer that with chart because that's how I think. Okay. So I'm going to keep this link available for you guys to see here. And I'm just going to use my TradeStation charts like this. Okay. Actually, I'm going to move some things around so I have more real estate for my charts. Just give me another memento. And I want to say welcome to Larry, first one in the line. Larry. B, welcome to Gann Trading Patterns. Glad to have you. Look forward to seeing you deploy the system. Okay, so let me get going here. Okay. So lots of software and lots of things to move around. Okay, so here's the details. Here's the charts. And now I have more real estate by moving it this way. Okay. Okay. So Dinesh asked, do you mean live 4 sessions? No, the 4 sessions have already been recorded and edited and are ready and broken down as tutorials, Dinesh. The live component of that would be multi-group coaching live, which is a feature of several of my courses, but something I want to make sure that somebody in Gann Trading Patterns have. Okay. So the question was, is this the similar to or different than Gann Trading Pattern, Gann Candlesticks? So the Gann Candlesticks course gets into the actual individual candlestick formations. So like individual candles or maybe 2 or 3 candles at a time. What I'm teaching in Gann Trading Patterns builds off what I've shown you a little bit here today, price drives and the directional moves, but it it goes way beyond that. And like I said, there's a calculator in there that I teach you how to use that I physically created that allows you to do more predictive market analysis that's completely separate than what forecasting is. So does that answer your question, David, about the differences? Okay, awesome. All right, let's see. Raju says, can you review IP for long? Sure, let's bring that up here. So I should go back to my monthly time frame and max this out. Okay. So the stock international paper is resuming higher. And oh, interestingly, it's actually exhibiting a time pattern right now. It is exhibiting a time pattern that I teach in full in the system. So I'm going to take a look at this afterwards. And if it's something that, yeah, I can take a look at this afterwards and I can put a screenshot of that in the Gann trading pattern system. But based on what is happening with that time pattern, I would say it increases the likelihood that we're going to break above this 41.89 high. So I think that that's more likely than not. And if that happens, then I think that also increases the chance that we retrace at least 50% of the move. So the risk to reward here is the challenge. Like the risk to reward here, who asked about IP? Scrolling back. Okay, Raju asked. The risk to reward is not so great. Let's look at it on the weekly chart. Okay, so on the weekly chart, yeah, that time pattern is unfolding, and we still got to see a clearance above 41.89 for me to feel like it's confirmed. But the cool thing is, check out the drives that have been occurring on this. So let me pull up my little drives help tool. And for those of you who are able to and who stick here for another however long until I answer your questions and stuff, I'm going to do a wheel of names, and I'm going to do a prize drawing based on who's attending in here live. Cash prizes, cash money. So stick around. Probably do that in about like 10, 15 minutes. I want to give you guys time to get signed up and answer your questions. And welcome, David. David F. Good to see you in there. For our Gann trading pattern system, keep an eye on my updates that I'm going to do for the SPY calculator. Okay. So coming back here, the drives that I see here. So this goes back to the exercises we did. This one's still unfolding. So this is falling in line with what I was saying already. It's not done yet. So I don't think this is a good place to buy, Raju, even though I think this is going higher, because I think there's more of a chance of it pulling back. Let's go to a daily chart and get real specific. If you go long here, you are counting on, depending on IP breaking above 41.89, and you would probably need to put your stop down below 34.90 at best. So the risk to reward here is not fantastic. So I would not go long this stock, but if you must, then these are the ways the setup would come together. Does that make sense, Raju? Okay, let me circle back. Okay, I'm going to go back to the list and see the folks who had put in questions before that I didn't get to the first time, and then I'll do any new ones now. So Jennifer asked about NVIDIA. Jennifer, NVIDIA, are you still here? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so great. Jennifer's still here. So let me change this to a monthly time frame. And let's do NVIDIA. All right, NVIDIA has been very interesting. So NVIDIA, Jen's original question was, I'm in it and planning to hold to 1,000. Well, we came to 974 and backed off significantly. So I don't know if you have $1,000 just because it's like a round number. Okay, you bought at 940. Okay, so you're sitting in the red zone right now. Okay. So I'm just going to draw a line for Jennifer where she got long. Unfortunately, Jennifer, I don't think that was the optimal entry period. I mean, it's easy to say with hindsight, but the other reason is that your risk to reward was probably not super great, even if things hadn't turned around. Let me show you what I mean, okay? So I'll make a little lesson for everybody. If you went long at 940, so either you did it back here or you did it here. Like either it was early March or it was here. Going long at 940 with the target of 1,000, but with the most recent low being down here at 841, that's $100 risk for a $60 reward. So that's what I am not loving. So I don't know what your account size is. I don't know what your risk reward is. I don't know what any of those other features are that you have in your plan. But risk to reward is very important. So this is important for everybody. Everybody who's sitting here who finished signing up for GAN Trading Patterns, if you're going to, please type a Y once you're done. I want you to pay attention. Important trade management session right now. So just type a Y if you're with me, and I'll scroll back and I'll get the other questions. Dinesh, I got you. I see you for the cues. Okay, Bala, I see your question about ANSS and ACM. Okay. Ron, you said you would like to see how GAN trading patterns unfolded on the ES today. Okay, we'll see. Now, it's possible that it didn't. Those patterns don't come up every single day, every time, but we can take a look. Okay, good. Everybody's with me. Okay, so here's what I want to talk through. When you're starting out trading, and I've done like various short videos and stuff on this, those things that are on Instagram and TikTok and everything else, okay? Oh, awesome. Welcome, Blade, to GAN Trading Patterns. Blade, I know well. Okay, so I appreciate that you invested in it, Blade. I do think that you should definitely dive into session 1, but I know Blade, I love Blade, and I'm going to tell you watch session 1 and then pause and then let me direct you from there, okay? Because we have a few things we're working on in your trading plan, and I won't want you to get overwhelmed. But I love that you dove in, and also watch the video that I'm going to put up in the next few days after I analyze the SPY, since I know you trade the E-mini. That'll be really helpful for like understanding the big picture turning points and stuff. Okay. So for everybody else here, just follow the course plans. For some of you traders here that I know very personally now, because we're in a 3-month intense group coaching setting together, I built their trading plan. I know who they are as people. I know how their brain works. I'm giving some specific directives. Okay. Here's the risk reward lesson. Ready? When you're starting out trading, the more you can do 1 unit of risk to make 3 units of reward, the better. So Jennifer, in this case, if you were going long at 940 and you wanted to exit at 1,000, that's $60, right? So 60 divided by 3 is 20. Your stop should have been $20 away. Again, if it was just like a money stop. If it's based on price action, though, meaning you want to put the stop after or below the most recent low, it limits your choices. Does that make sense, Jennifer? That I want you to start considering how much you're risking in a trade to make X amount. Okay. So that's beginner level, okay? Then as you get more comfortable, you can have 1 unit of risk. I'm just going to like repeat that for 2 units of reward. All right. I won't be lazy. I'll type it. Okay, here we go. I'll draw it with Zoom, okay? So this is beginner. This is intermediate, let's call it. So that means if you're trying to make $60, then your risk could be a little more. Your risk could be 30. Guys, this is not stuff you're going to see me do anywhere else. It's in coaching like this. So unless you're a member in my course, you won't have opportunities to coach with me. So type a Y if this is making sense. This is very, very helpful elemental stuff. Awesome, Mark. I see your comment there. Thank you. Larry, does Gann patterns work with foreign? What do you mean, foreign stocks? Yeah, it works on anything that's liquid and moving. If you want to look at a currency, we can do that. So Larry L, if you have a currency you want to look at, I can pull those up. I, in TradeStation, can only pull up US stocks though. So that's where I'm limited. Okay. Now the last bit here is like slightly more advanced, okay? If you get more advanced, I don't think most of you should be doing this, is 1 risk unit to 1.5 reward. Meaning, for $60, Jen, if you do the math, if 60 is to 1.5 as 40 is to 1. Do you see how the more advanced you are as a trader, the more you can afford to risk to make some money because you have proven yourself with the smaller risk before? Like this little screenshot is some gold here. I probably should go back and screenshot it. I'm going to screenshot it right now. Okay. So I'm going to bring up my little Snagit tool. Snagit, it's a funny name, but Snagit's a great screen capture tool. Blueprint students, that's in your portal. So make sure you're learning about it. But this is what it looks like, guys. Okay. This is a little, it's called Snagit, S-N-A-G-I-T. It's made by a company called TechSmith and it's paid. You buy it, but I believe in life, you get what you pay for. So if you get things for free, they only take you so far. If you invest in them, then you have skin in the game and you're more likely to really use them. So this is the tool right here. So what I'm going to do is turn off the zoom drawings and I'll pull this on my second screen and I'm going to hit image and the capture button and I'm going to make myself a little screen here. So now I've just sliced myself a little piece here. And once I erase the zoom drawings, it will look like what it's going to as a final. So let me erase the zoom drawings because they're taking up too much clutter. See, now I have this little snippet and I can remember that. Okay, so just a cool little helpful side tool. Okay, I have lost control of my mouse. There we go. Okay. Larry, Forex. Okay, so why don't you give me a ticker, Larry, that you want to look at? David asks, can GAN be used for day trading? Great question. That pairs with Ron's question about the ES. Who would like to see us go to the ES intraday chart, 3-minute, 5-minute, and see how GAN trading patterns worked on it today? Type a Y if you're down for that. Okay. All right, now I'm going to start putting glasses on because my eyes are getting tired and I didn't take a break. I just got really excited. Okay. So as I had mentioned, if you missed it earlier, I purposely took an extended break from my baby, the E-mini S&P 500 futures. Just needed a break from it. But I came back to the charts this morning purposely ahead of the long Easter weekend so that I have plenty of time to do all my pre-trading rituals to get myself back into trading mode. It's like an athlete not playing for 6 weeks. You can't just like jump back on the field, okay? So this is as far as I've taken this ESM24 chart, meaning the June contract of the E-mini S&P. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a copy of it and just kind of tuck it in the corner here. And I'll make it a lower time frame. So Ron, you had mentioned a time frame. Who else asked about day trading time frame? Was David. So David and Ron, why don't you tell me the time frames you want? Because I use a 3-minute chart and then a 15-second chart, but let's look at what you want to do. Okay. Ron says 2-minute. Okay. So 2-minute chart, and then I'm going to go to Forex for Larry, if you give me a ticker. Okay. We'll dive in. Okay. Question from Afshin, do you recommend this course for a starter? Starter, I think you mean early trader, beginner trader. Sure. So I have made all my education so that anybody coming in can kind of pick up. We are actually in the middle of taking this course and updating it to a new platform. And if you're in the course now, you're going to get that upgrade and that update for free. You're not going to have to pay anything for it. It is going to make it even easier for a newer trader because I'm going to have more ease to add in some other lessons and stuff. So yeah, you can give it a try as a new trader. And remember, and I don't like professing this, guys, because like legit, let me come on screen for a second. Okay, me, Hima, being real here. We have a money back guarantee, a refund policy, because as a person providing a product, I feel like if I don't offer you the ability to have a refund, it shows lack of confidence of me and my product, especially being that it's a digital product, right? This isn't something I have to make and ship out to you like a book. That's a little hard to deal with refunds, but this is digital and you log in. I just want you to know though, that that's there because I want you to see that I'm confident that you can give it a try. And if it doesn't work for you, or you're not trapped in this investment, but please don't invest in it and just be like a looking around. I'm going to click this. I'm going to click that. I'm going to try it for 1 minute and then say it doesn't work for me and then refund. It costs me money when you refund. And I have a team of employees that I want to can grow and help and not even worry about my bottom line. It's just refunds when they're legitimate, we're totally fine with. We have a very low refund rate because we attract the right people, but that's there as a backup. So I'm just being honest with you, Afshin. If you're newer and you're hesitant, but you see some value here, you can get it, you can dig in and know that there's that option. And what we'll always do first is offer you help and make sure you're getting going first. But if it doesn't work out, then you can refund. Chris is asking, is this on the new portal? I have it on Kartra, but I haven't cracked into yet. Chris, this is going to be moving next to the new portal. And so, yeah, anybody who owns it in the past, like through now, will get the upgrade. If I move it to the new portal, I'll be very honest with you, there's cool, awesome things happening in life right now for our business where like big people are suddenly noticing me and partnering and all this stuff. And I probably won't be keeping my pricing as affordable as it is now. I sell GAN things for way lower than the rest of the market. And I know that, but I do that because I'm trying to make you guys be able to get into it. So what you've paid for something, if I give you that version for life, that's all you're ever going to pay. So if you invest $497 now, you're going to get all of this stuff and you're going to get future iterations of this course, which I'm telling you right now, in the next few weeks, there's going to be a future iteration. It's going to be awesome in Experience 5. So Chris, you can hit the pause button. You can wait, work on the blueprint stuff first, and then go from there. Blade, don't just send me a question specifically about that. I want you to focus on what you're doing in the mentorship, but I'm cool with you doing GAN trading patterns session 1. Okay. Okay. I'm like I laugh at myself because the teacher speaks more loudly in me than the person offering a product. And I'm like, some people I'm like, no, don't get this now. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to resume the screen here, but oh, thank you, Vincent. I see that. Vincent says, I recommend this as a good course for a beginner as well. As you can observe here, Hima takes complex and make it very simple, easy to understand. I've worked with her other programs, but I'm new here and appreciated the principled learnings in her programs. Thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that. And I've seen you like active in the portals and stuff, and that's what's helping you, do well. It's engaging. Okay, Joel, yeah, it's applicable on Forex. Give me a ticker and we'll do it. But first, I'll come back to the ES as promised. Okay, I just wanted to be real honest with you guys. Okay, so we're going to be here for at least another 10 minutes, but that's while you have questions. So please sign up if you haven't and you're interested so that we can make sure that you are on the email list to get the updates when those time-specific videos are added in this weekend about the SPY. You don't want to miss that information, okay? All right, so what did I say? Yes, here we go. Sharing the chart and let's do it, okay? I'm going to do like this and then the NASDAQ, and then I'm going to pause and let you all sign up. Can you see my screen with the ES? I have so many things open. I just want to make sure. Please type a Y if you see it. Okay, terrific. So this is hindsight, obviously, because the day already happened. But basically, if I come back to 9 a.m. today, so I'm just going to go to New York time, 9 a.m. Now, that's not the market open, but that's when I start kind of paying attention. I'm looking, and that's where I'm going to reflect back to you. Big picture, I see there were a few drives higher off that early morning low. So let me annotate them. Now, you might be wondering, how am I figuring out how to draw these moves? I teach that in depth in the session 1 in the Gann trading pattern system. Guys, I cannot teach you everything I know or entire systems here in an hour or two. It would do you a disservice. It would not be good. And I highly, highly believe that you cannot provide education and then not provide an arena for a person to ask questions. Now, I happen to do it with multi-group coaching, but our new portals are, and I'll show you what those are in a second. Some of our courses, about half of them have moved to new portals versus the existing ones. They have forums where you can interact with other people taking the same course. And this one's about to have that. This is literally the next one that I'm moving over in the next, I'm going to try to do in the next week here. Depends on when my tech can do it. Okay. So all these things you see me are me deploying the techniques, the actual how to use them in your, or how to do them for yourself. You'll see. So how I came up with this is this. I saw this break up into a few drives and it was accentuated by divergence. The RSI patterns that you already know from 4 zones RSI will help you even better understand Gann trading patterns. So if you're already using RSI power zones, great. That's just going to add extra kind of evidence to you to better understand when drives begin and end. My RSI students, do you see how the end of the drive was accentuated by the bearish divergence? Type a Y in the chat. Joel's asking, I'm new to trading. Is this applicable to me? Joel, I'll give you the same answer I just gave Afshin, I believe, but brief. So if you're newer to trading, yes, this is a great time to get in on this because this investment level is probably not going to stay the same for long. I am upgrading my offerings. There are cool, awesome things happening in my business, and prices will probably go up over time, just being honest. But also, we have a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you get in there and you give it a full shot, even with all the beginner lessons that I'm going to be adding in, and it's still overwhelming or not working for you, then you have 90 days and we'll give you a refund. Now, we really just want you to kind of get it going, but I have that there. So at that point, it's a decision for you, Joel. Okay. But that's what I can say. Yes, we have traders who are newer who come in there and are able to get that foundation and then slowly add in the more complex techniques. Okay, so 3 drives up. This one broke into 3 very volatile drives, but it also did the same thing. It's like a snowflake, guys, okay? The outer piece is this, but the inner piece is these 3 moves. Okay. So now, with what's going on here, this has been down off of the PM high, and it's in a 3rd drive. I'm going to go to the 60-minute chart for a second. Okay, so I pulled some levels from the 60-minute chart, and basically, given the move below this 2:44 p.m. low at 5305.25, this has turned into a bit more of a downtrend with a room for a third or fourth drive lower. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the overnight action, we continue to move down towards 5301. And if that breaks, then the next support's here. But I don't trade the overnight, so I'm not used to this sparse action. That's all I can say. I will tell you that right here, it was beautiful, actually. My GAN trading patterns existing students, you can see this. We hit a beautiful, beautiful price pattern here. It's I believe it's video 2.3, because I actually even looked at it today. It's the first pattern I teach in session 2. Okay. So Ron, David, are you seeing how, yes, you can do this on intraday charts, but obviously I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know how to trade the overnight session. This is not my cup of tea. But in the course, there's many examples, and there are intraday examples as well. Is this a swing high? This is technically a price high. I'm very strict about how I define swing highs. So let's do a little analysis on that. So if we just get real zoned in to this recent action, okay? Here we had, so let me just make this color that's easy to see, like orange or something, or blue. Okay, orange. In order for this to have been a swing high, we would want this high to actually be up here. And then this high here, and then the rest would have unfolded. So this is not a swing high back here. It's not a swing high. But it was a price high. 1, 2, 3. And then it unfolded to be something deeper. Here was a swing high, but you can see this swing high was kind of useless by the time it unfolded because it had already pushed down. A great swing low was back here. This was fantastic. Everybody see how this was a classic, beautiful swing low? Does that answer your question, John? I get there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's very black and white, bar, price, swing. And I get more into the applications of that in the course. Sam H says, just started GAN candles. Can you show, are there any GAN candle entries on today's intraday ES? That's a very open question. It depends on what time frame you trade, depends on what your risk reward is. I don't look at candles on a 2-minute chart. That's too short term for me. I look at them on a 3-minute chart. So let's do that. So we had a nice outside bar here after a harami. It was a test failure. That's an advanced concept that I teach. But that combination here with the slowing momentum, but that's in hindsight. So it's not the same as me seeing it live. Now that I'm getting back to my own short-term trading, in my courses and with my coaching students, you guys are going to see me share many more examples of my trading, like kind of capturing the video of it in the moment, screenshots after, but I'm going to reserve that for students in my courses and students, especially in my coaching, because it's very important to me that you have context for that and the ability to ask about it. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to stop the screen share for a moment. Actually, I'll do a quick QQQ and NQ analysis, very quick, but then I've got to make sure I'm answering questions for those of you who want to get signed up. So QQQ. I had looked at my longer term QQQ, whoever asked about it, and it's like not as neat and clean as the S&P with that channel, but I do have 2 targets on it. So for QQQ, RSI power zones, there's a positive reversal coming in at 453.92. Again, I did this kind of prep work on my own charts. Okay, so that's an upside target there. But the real forecast to keep an eye out for is 459.75. And that is into 459.75. April 2nd, which makes me less excited about it, to be honest with you, because it's too close. That doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just there's less time to get there. And that forecast is valid while we're above this low at 432.74. Okay, so whoever had asked about the Qs, there's your forecast there. And then the NQ, okay? Oh, NQ, yeah, I don't really have, it's not going to be that different, but I'll do it really quick. NQM24. So it's going to be a similar forecast. Let me just get it really quick. It's probably going to have a similar time. Yep, April 2nd. And the price on that one is 19,091. So here you go. So that's how you can see how fast I did a forecast. April 2nd into 19,091. We always, when it comes to forecasting, which is a different technique than what I trained on today, we always look at the expectation that that magnet, the intersection between these lines, will pull price up into the right. But we never know when it's going to happen for sure. Like, that's why I have all these missed flow charts and missed interpretations, because forecasts don't unfold exactly. But that's where I show you that. Okay. All right. So let me come back and answer some of your questions here. Oops. I'll share these details so that you have that. Can GAN trading be useful for options trading or mainly day trading? So Afshin, options trading and day trading aren't necessarily two different things. People can day trade options, for example, but it can be used for both. So there are people who have GAN trading patterns, knowledge that they use to day trade SPY options, but they also use it to swing trade stock options. So most of the charts I've been showing you have been daily charts. That's mostly for swing trading or an anchor for your day trading. I just now went on the E-mini intraday, right? That was a place where you can do day trading or short-term trading. Okay, Ashin, do you have further questions on that, or does that clarify? Okay. Okay. So Joel asks, are these recorded? Okay, I have some typos there. Are these recorded videos teaching videos? So let me go through what this is again, okay? Session 1, 2, 3, 4 is just the name of how we organize our videos. They're already pre-set and ready for you. They are the education. They're all education, showing you everything I introduced today in the middle of our session. So they'll build off the foundational elements and they'll go deep into the actual how of those 3 exercises. There's also a quick start study guide. There's all the steps, everything you need to get going. There's a cheat sheet of the patterns that you're going to learn in there, so that when you start learning them, you have them on the side to help you implement. And there's monthly group coaching. So if you're not already in one of my other courses that has that, you can join me once a month. I've held this for years. I only skipped one session last month for my 45th birthday, took a break from all live coaching, and I hold that session on a Wednesday at 4:30 generally. So like how was today was 4:30. The next monthly group coaching live is coming Wednesday, April 3rd. And at monthly group coaching live, I don't like pause the screen and do this and off. I just show everything, because I know that the students there have at least some base level of my education. Okay. So great. It's 6:05 Central. That means it's 7:05 Eastern. You guys are rock stars. I'm so glad you're here today. And I want to continue to encourage you to dive into your education, whether you've started with something smaller like an ebook or the 4 Zones RSI course, or you're ready for something like we have here again, trading patterns. Again, why did I bring this back now? Is because I'm specifically going to work on that calculator that I mentioned that's in here. And that's going to be providing very useful information to students of that course if you are doing trading that's anything to do with S&P 500, you're going to want to check that out. So you can see that Anna has dropped the link back in the chat, and I have all the information up here. I'm going to leave this up for a few moments. So I'm going to just say a quick thank you for attending and go from there. Awesome. So if you found value in this session, whether it was the early part of coaching, our training we did together where I shared this opportunity to get this education or the coaching after, please share your feedback on the way out. We capture this feedback and we share it with our tribe so that they know that we are able to provide this. Blade says it's been awesome, Sauce. Awesome, David. Thank you. Okay, awesome. Sylvan says, do you have access to the course lifetime? Yes, all sessions lifetime, Sylvan. Yes, do you see my head nodding? It's going to fall off. It's all lifetime access. And you guys had a question about the new courses. I'll take a moment to show you that, or the new portal. Would you like to see that? George had asked about that. Okay, so let me explain the new portals really quick, okay? So here is the screens. All right, I'm going to use two browsers. It's like a tale of two browsers. Oh yeah, and I got to do my prize drawing. Almost forgot. Okay, so I'll do my prizes and show you the portals really quick. Okay. So if you go to my website, himaready.com, just my actual website out there, okay? When you go there, if you hit login, it will bring you to a platform called Kartra. This is a client management system, and it has like molds that we can fill for a course portal. And here's where you can store videos, and here's you can store downloads. Because frankly, while this costs money and it's not free, it is way more cost effective to do this than for me to hire some engineer to build custom portals at this phase in my education business with you. It's something long-term I'd love to do, but hasn't been there yet. So here, there's awesome features in Kartra, and this is where we had portals since 2019. Make sense? Type a Y, okay? Most of our courses have been in Kartra since their inception, and whatever was pre-existing in Kartra had moved over in 2019. There were only like 2 or 3 that existed. Okay, great. What you have in Kartra isn't going anywhere unless I already told you it migrated. So loss forecasting is a course that has already moved to the new portal. I'll show you what that is. So you can still log in here, but it's going to just put you out to the new portal. And then eventually you will only access from the new portal. GAN candlesticks has already been moved to the new portal. I did that for my birthday project, like the team did, okay? But I'm telling you now that GAN trading patterns is the next one. Then eventually I will move forward zones RSI, advanced RSI, and advanced loss forecasting. Okay. So what is the new portal like? It's like a whole different world. So when you get GAN trading patterns now, you're going to get access to the awesome portal that's in here and all the elements. And when I upgrade it, it's going to feel more like this. So if you go into, let's say, GAN candlesticks, which is your similar version of style to GAN trading patterns, it's going to have this opportunity for you to collect points by taking various actions. So let me just unclick one thing. And then if I click it, I don't know if you heard that. It goes cha-ching. It's like a money sound, okay? You will collect points for your learning. In the current portals, we don't have a way to measure that, but in the new ones, we will. So all of these things will do that. And all your trainings are lined up and you can go in order or you can jump around them. The same exact thing is going to apply for GAN trading patterns. There's also a forum where you can talk to other traders about that specific course. So people have been really loving that. So I'm Hima, right? So I have access to like all these different things. We're still building out, finalizing 4 zones and doing other stuff. But for example, in the loss forecasting course, people are coming here and they're sharing charts and they're sharing forecasts. And you're going to be able to do the same exact thing in the GAN trading patterns course very soon. That's literally the next project that the team is doing. So I want you to get a head start. I don't want you to worry about waiting for that yet. I want you to be available to get my analysis on broader markets that I'm going to do soon. And that's going to go here in the Kartra portal. Any questions on the portal? This is like a big overview of like what's changing and what's different. Okay. Now I'm going to spin the wheel. for some prizes. And we're going to do this by taking in a list of everyone who's attending right now. I can do this. So just give me a second. I'm just going to grab the list. All right. I don't think I can grab it from there. So if you want to be in the drawing now for cash prizes, okay? I didn't add anyone's name yet. This is a blank list, okay? If you want to be in the drawing, then type, oh, this is going to be hard. Hold on. If you want to be in the drawing, then go ahead and type the letter one, the number one now. Just type it. I think I should be able to just capture all of that. Okay, I'll let you all empty out that, and then I'll do that. All right. So I'm going to pause the screen. I'm going to capture. So you got to type the letter one right now. You have a few more seconds. I'm going to count down to when to stop. If you want to be in the prize drawing, I'm drawing for cash prizes right now. This is your chance. Type the number one in the Zoom chat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's it. Whoever entered, that's who I'm getting. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the easy way for me to do this is to actually just type all your answers that are in here. It's going to copy and paste the ones as well, but I'm just deleting them out really quick. So bear with me, and then we will draw prizes. It's going to say from at the beginning, but I'm going to try to quickly edit this out. Okay. I thought about doing it at different points in the session, but then I realized I should just do it for the people who are here, the champs who stayed till the end, my friends. All right, so give me 1 second. We're almost there. I'm literally just like copying, pasting, deleting. And once I have those, we'll spin the prizes. So we're going to do 3 prizes, okay? We're going to start with one level, then we're going to go bigger money, and then the last one will be the biggest. And these are going to be for Amazon gift cards. So who doesn't love an Amazon gift card? It's not going to be a specific product, just going to be Amazon gift cards so you can use as you wish. The winner, we will pull your email address from our system, and then we will send you the Amazon gift card within the next couple of days here, okay? So that's how these prizes work. Now, if you're international and you win, let me know, because I don't want to send you a gift card you can't use. We can send you something different, okay? Okay. I see some of you snuck in at the end. Okay. There we go. Here we go. I'm going to spin the wheel, okay? And everyone's names is in here who typed the number one. So the first prize that we're going to draw for is a $25 Amazon gift card. Pretty sweet, right? $25 Amazon gift card. Here we go. Spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel. And the winner is... Oh, it is Satish. Satish K. As you can see, his last name here. All right, awesome. So I'm going to remove your name, and I'm going to make a note, Satish. Are you based in the US? Because then we'll send you an Amazon gift card. If not, we'll send you something different, okay? And now I'm going to shuffle, because that's the right thing to do, okay? I'm going to spill the wheel again. You guys ready? This time we'll do a $50 Amazon gift card. Type a Y if you're ready. I have to know you're still here. Okay. So we're going to spin the wheel for a $50 Amazon gift card. And the winner is Martin. Martin Lucas, congratulations. You're going to get a $50 Amazon gift card. Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to take notes. I'll go back to the recording and grab this, okay? But I'm going to remove you now so that you don't win a second prize. And I'm going to shuffle one more time. All right? And now our final prize is a $100 Amazon gift card. $100, okay? So here we go. Spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel. Okay, Martin, you're in Australia. Okay, then we may adjust, but oh, here we go. Chris Stevens, one of my favorite tribe members. He's super active in the portals. He's super active in education. So Chris, way to go. You are going to win a $100 Amazon gift card emailed to you. And I know you're in the US, so you absolutely can use that. Congratulations, Steven. Chris Stevens. Oh my gosh. I know your name is Chris, but yay, awesome. Way to go, guys. All right, congratulations to our winners. And you know what? I'm feeling generous. We're going to do another round of 25, 50, 100. Real quick, though, okay? So we're going to shuffle one more time, and I'm going to spin. This is $25. This is me investing in your trading education, okay? Here we go, Sanjay, congratulations, $25 gift card. If you are US based, if you're not in the US, then we will take a look at the best way to send that prize to you. And I'll pull your name out from the, okay, you're in Canada? Amazon works there, right? I think I'd maybe need to buy from the Canadian website. All right, no worries, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll still get you your prize money. Okay. Okay, so we removed Sanjay's name, or we're supposed to. Let me, sorry, we're not spinning. We're not spinning. Ignore, ignore, ignore. Hold on. I need to remove the winner because otherwise it's not fair. Let me remove and then I'll shuffle. Nope, don't listen to any of that. We weren't ready yet. Okay, now I'm going to shuffle and I'm going to remove our winners because that's the right thing to do. So Chris, I got you off the list. Satish is off, and so is was it Mark in Canada? Okay. Martin, excuse me. Okay, now back to screen share. Okay, last round, $50 and then $100. Okay? Shuffling, and here we go. Here we go. And woohoo! It goes to Ron. Ron, I believe you are a longtime tribe member, so happy to see that you won a prize. You get a $50 gift card. All right, awesome. Also in Canada. Oh my gosh, I gotta send all these international bits. Okay, well, either we'll send you the Amazon gift card or we'll send you PayPal. We'll figure it out. Okay, I'm gonna remove, I'm gonna shuffle. So this is the last one, guys, okay? $100 gift card from Amazon if you're US. If you're not, we'll figure out how to get that to you. And here we go, last one. You feel like you're on Oprah, John? Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm not in a position to say, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. But you all did get trading education, and Mike Vaughn got a $100 gift card to Amazon. Mike, are you still here? Let us know. Hopefully you're US based. Okay, awesome. And he's in the US, so I can easy peasy send you an Amazon gift card. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, we recorded all of this, so I'll go back in through our attendees record and I will make sure our guests get their prizes. And most of all, appreciate you all. So I want to wish you a happy Easter, whatever you say for Easter, if you're celebrating. I know Easter is like a somber holiday in the religious meaning, but let me just wish you well for this long weekend in the markets. Let me continue to encourage you to dive into your trading, dive into your education. Use it, guys. Don't just get it and have it sit on a shelf, okay? And that's what we're going to work on having you do more of. So awesome to see you all. Ron, Dinesh, Jose, Chris, awesome, John, Bala, Sylvan. And remember, you can access the GAN trading pattern system at this amazing value and still get that SPY calculator update and everything I'm going to be doing. We're going to keep this link available, but not forever. It's going to come down without notice, okay? So you can save the link, but at some point you're going to go there and it won't work. So make sure you dive in if you want to get started. All right, have a great rest of your day, and thanks for joining, and I'll see you in Q2. Bye-bye.